Hello, everybody. Pardon me while I clear my throat. Could have done that at any time during the 8-minute countdown when I had the mic off, but nope. Had to wait till the mic was on. I guess as a sound test of sorts. So, how is everybody doing? No one has said you can't hear me or see me, so I assume that is going okay. Hooray. It's Tuesday, folks. And we're here doing a show thanks to you. This is actually, there's a little bit of breakfast left over. I will throw that away. Last month, a bonus video was unlocked and never got around to it. So that's what this is. Sponsored by you, I'm going to be doing a live playthrough of Lacrimosa. And before we get to that, we'll have some fun unboxing Dungeons & Dragons Onslaught, which is a game they really shouldn't have sent to me because I'm never going to play it. But at the very least I can do is open it and look at it, right? So that's something. Alrighty. Detel guest says at good, but I assume you meant all good. That is good, good, good. And hey, thank you, Goblin981, resubscribing. That did it! Boom! Speaking of unlocks, we just unlocked a bonus show. Hooray! And in fact, during the setup, we've unlocked another one because, this one right here is basically, bits and stuff like that. But also, at the beginning of every month, however much money I make off of YouTube memberships, I dump into there as well. So I just put, I think, like $70 into that, which crossed that over. We were over here before, but now, thanks to your folks plus members on YouTube, it's wrapped around here. So we've unlocked one bonus show, and thanks to Goblin and a whole bunch of other people, we've unlocked another show. Hooray! So I think that's going to be a whole bunch of extra R&Rs in the month of December, which is very, very cool. And I should go on ahead and reset that now. Let me just do that really quick. I have to go to... I have to log in. Very slowly. Alrighty. So, and I need to go to follower goal. And then I need to reset it. Alright. Wait, no, not follower goal. Right? Which one? Which one is it? Oh, it's the sub goals, the subscriber goals. Right. Subscriber. I got to reset the subscriber. Because this thing will not reset itself. It'd be really cool if it would do some kind of cool song and dance or fireworks or some such, but I've never learned the coding to do such things. Alrighty, so I need to go to, what is that? That is subs goal, subscriber goal. Right, I need to reset that meter. Alrighty, so end it, create a new one. We're at 0, and boom. And it's back. Totally empty. Totally nude. Look at that. Okay. So, yay. Hey, everybody. How are you doing? Hello. Let's see. Oh, what did I just do? Oh, hey. Oh, I gave you some gold. So you can, right. Congratulations, to Clocus, using the channel points to get some more gold so you can outfit your avatar. That's very, very nice. Put on something nice, why don't you? Let's see. But also, hello, Qualtus and Ruckus and Detel Quest, I should say. Corthane and Felix and Nazgoth and Gidio. And a whole bunch of other people, I'm sure. But since you have not said hello, I will not call you out. I could just literally pull up this list and see everybody and say hello to everybody. But I don't know, is that like not a cool thing to do because some people just want to silently not be bothered by anybody? I will not, but let me just say thank you to everybody from A to T that is currently here. All right. So, and let's see here. So, everything seems to be going okay. I don't need you anymore. That's fine. I've got that in the background, Matt. And, yes, I too hope that everyone is having a nice day. Things are going okay here so far. Jen and I are really enjoying our e-bikes that we kind of bought ourselves as an early Christmas present because we figured we have the RV and we are planning on making lots more RV trips. And originally we were going to try and get like a really cheap Jeep, some old four-wheel drive manual transmission Jeep, and tow that behind the RV so that wherever we go, we'd have like a shuttlecraft, a runabout to be able to go and see things. But Jen was always a little nervous about that, and then we rode on some e-bikes, and Jen fell in love with that. So we bought a couple of e-bikes, and we've been riding them all over town, even though it's been cold and freezing and whatnot, having a good time with that. We just had another bike ride yesterday, going down to the post office. Every day, Jen's got more stuff to mail out, so it's much more fun to go to the post office now because we use e-bikes to do it. And let's see here. Folks, there's no reason to be around the bush. We're playing Lacrimosa, but before that, we're opening Onslaught, so let's do that right now, shall we? Where's the overhead view? Boop. All right, there we are. Okay, it hasn't crashed. Hooray. And, right, Dungeons & Dragons, Onslaught, the high-octane miniatures game by Nicholas Yu and Travis Severance. Dungeons & Dragons Onslaught is a competitive skirmish game in which each player controls an adventuring party from one of the powerful factions of the Forgotten Realms. Parties delve into dungeons, battle rival adventurers, and confront fearsome monsters on a quest for treasure and glory. This core set includes everything 2 players need to play, including 12 characters from 2 different factions, the Harpers and the Zentarum, a horde of monsters, and an immersive campaign that sends rival parties deep into the depths of a ruined keep to confront the mighty Black Dragon. And see, it's the rival. Why do we have to be rivals? Why? Because I was looking at this a bit this morning. I mean, WizKids sent it to me without asking first, hey, would you like to cover the game? If they had contacted me before putting it in the mail, I would have told them, no, you don't need to send it because it's probably not something I'm going to play because it is a player versus player kind of thing, and I don't want that. But they just sent it, so we can at least take a look, right? Come on. This box is tight. There we go. All right, so what have we got here? It looks like this is a dice bag, I'm assuming, or maybe a chit bag, or maybe it's not a bag at all. I don't know what this is. No. Wow. This is a 5 1/4 inch floppy disk sleeve. I don't know what else to call this. I'm almost positive this is the exact same size as old 5 1/4 floppy disks. I mean, I expect it to have a hole here. Wow. I don't know what this is for. I'm sure it has some kind of function, but it's nice. You can see it's all shiny, and this is embossed on top. What is the function of this? I do not know. Then we've got, we've got an ad for more content. Customizable sprue minis. Customize your own characters. That's all very nice, right? Do I need to turn on the green screen? There we go. There we go. All right, so go to dndmini.com and receive 10% off your first purchase. Use promo code Onslaught. Now, in case you're deciding, I should rush right out and do that, folks, this game doesn't come out until January, so I don't know if any of this stuff is actually active yet. But let's see, on the other side, we've got visit dndonslaught.com to get expansion packs, free scenarios, tournament resources, and more. Factions coming soon, which again, I mean, you could try, but this isn't supposed to come out until January, so I don't know if any of that will actually be there if you were to, in fact, go there. Alrighty, we've got the Onslaught rulebook. Nice big font. That's cool. And colorful, lots of pictures. I'm sure this is all very nicely done. I don't really recall having a lot of problems with WizKids rulebooks as a general rule. So this is probably all copacetic. Map terrain reference, so just an at-a-glance reminding you what the different colors are on the maps. And, the scenario guide. What did it say on the back? Did it say there were like 8 chapters? 6 chapters? It's chapter 1, Clash at the Keep. 6 rounds where you're having to fight each other and fight gnolls. And that's the weird thing about this game. It has a full AI system. It has monsters. This could be a cooperative game where players are working together to take down the bad guys. But nope, we're fighting the bad guys while also fighting each other and doing, so they use this also as hey, look, you could walk through your entire first round of the game if you wanted to get a good sense for how it plays. And then go onward. And then go on to scenario 2, the prison break, and so on. So that's all cool, but again, no co-op. I mean, WizKids, I don't know if you've heard of this game called Gloomhaven. It's like the #1 ranked game on the world on Board Game Geek, and it's cooperative only. At one point, Isaac Childress thought, oh, you know what, I'll put in a competitive version too, and he ultimately dropped that and then didn't bother to do it with the sequel, even though he could have. You know why? Because people want to play cooperatively. The days of people killing each other are over, although that's not true. There's still plenty of skirmish games out there. My knife, where is my knife? There it is. Okay, I couldn't reach it. It wasn't in the normal spot. And this is too tight for me to get loose with my hands. So we've got a whole bunch of tokens. These are pretty thick, it looks like. There we go. All right. They pop quite nice and smooth. That's cool. I assume these are different types of effects and representations of various and sundry things. Hey, there's mysterious portals you can go through. These look like long, I assume these are walls. Yeah, like that's going to be a wall of brambles or some such. Treasure chests. Alrighty. Here's the big deal, the board. Let's put all this other stuff aside for a moment and look at the board. Oh, okay. This board is actually fairly big. I wouldn't have quite expected it to be so large, but there you go. Two-sided. I believe this was the one that was used in the first mission. And probably this is the one used in the second mission. Actually, wow, this really reminds me a lot of Catacombs. You know, kind of just generic, general purpose. Oh, there could be any number of things happening. This could be an ancient shrine. This could just be a water reclamation plant under the city in the sewers. It could be anything. Well, it's interesting. They're both very dungeony. Now, I would expect one of them to be kind of dungeony and one of them to be kind of cave-like, right? But nope, they're both very dungeony. One with eerie lighting and whatnot, and throne right here in the middle. So obviously, and I see functionally, I don't see any difference between them. Yep, well, no, that's not true. Look at this. There's a wall here, so that's a wall, and that's a wall. Okay, so yeah, so these are actual walls. You can see the places where, or maybe you can't quite see, but you know, there's. Obviously, all these little spots to move, but then there's not here. So this is a wall that you've got to work your way around. All right. Doop, boop, doop. That's the board. It's quite, well, actually, I'll just leave the board out and open the rest. Why not? Okay. So this is the cool stuff. Here's an overall thing that keeps track of what round you're in. And you can see there's little holes for everything. What round you're in, how many victory points they've earned, various things to track. But that's not the cool thing. The cool thing is these player tokens. You could be the Mistral, Mistral. Or you could fight against the dragon. You could be Berkchel, the paladin. So, looking at these a little bit closer, they've got sliders all over the place. You keep track of how much experience you are earning over here. You have these two abilities. And once, as I understand it, once you use this ability, I don't know, what is this ability? It says 3, I think. So you probably put this, I might be wrong, but you put this to 3. And so it's a cooldown. Every round, it'll go down to 2 and then down to 1. And then, hey, it's ready to go again. And then boom, you've got to wait for it to cool down again as it starts doing stuff. And as you take hit points and damage, you can see this thing changes to remind you of how strong you are. So that's all very nice. And then what's this one over here? Combat reflexes. After, what does that say? After an adjacent enemy moves, if it's no longer adjacent, make a melee attack. I'm assuming that's what that icon against an enemy. And again, yeah. So you have some special powers, this character. And again, you've got these little cooldown things just built in. These are pre-snapped, so you don't have to bother putting them together. So all our characters are the paladin, the cleric, the wizard with starting abilities, special abilities, and all the rest of it. The druid, the ranger. The rest of them out here. The barbarian, the bard, and the fighter. Right. And as I understand it, I believe this is a skirmish game. I go in with my team of whatever it is, probably 3 or, let's see, there's 8 total here, right? So probably teams of 4 against teams of 4, I assume. And I'm moving my characters around, you're moving your characters around, and we're trying to kill each other. But we're also competing to, I don't know, do capture the flag type stuff and various and sundry things. Plus, there's bad guys. There's a dragon. There's a troll. There is an Etten. There's, here's another playable character, the warlock. Right, okay. So apparently there's 3 bosses. The Etten, the giant troll, and the black dragon. They've all got little sliders, you know, twisty things on theirs as well. That's all very nice. And then we had more characters. The warlock, the monk, the sorcerer, and the rogue. Alrighty. So those are nice. What else have we got in here? We've got some cards. Let's take a look at them. Alrighty. And so this initiative system, I believe each player has a team of 5. And so one player, if I recall correctly, one player gets the 1 and one player gets the 10 or something like that. And then the other cards are shuffled up. And so I end up, I had the 10 and I had this one and that one and that one and that one. So I know that this round, I'm going to take 5 turns. You're going to take 5 turns. And my characters are going to go the 2nd, the 5th, the 6th, the 8th, and the 10th. And then I assume in the next round, I get number 1, you get number 10, and we shuffle the rest up. So just a way to randomize player order and as well monster order, because the monsters all get 0.5s. So they're always going to go after some player. Some player goes, and then depending if the monster gets lucky, depending on when they're going to go. So that's a nice, simple, straightforward system, I think. Here are player cards for that Knoll, which was a boss, Kobold Sentry, Mimics, and we got a player aid, very important. So there's everything you need to know, at least everything they thought you need to know that they put on the player aids. Okay, so we've got those cards. We've got a big... pack of the whatever they're called. I keep wanting to say desiccation. That's not right. All right. Oh, and then, so all your characters had 2 normal powers plus some special power. And over the course of the game, if I recall correctly, you've got a couple more so that when you level up your character, whichever one it is, you get to pick 1 additional ability you are going to have for this particular game once you've leveled up a certain level. I think there's 2 of these for each of the, 12 different playable characters. And so every time you play, you could still get a different feel from the characters with all of these different abilities they've got. All right. And then we've got Masterwork melee weapons. Looks like, okay, so we've got, apparently, I assume you can get cooler weapons and arrows and armor. Yeah, so these are all just a bunch of items and rings, armor, weapons, all kinds of stuff like that. Right. So a whole bunch of those things. And I think one just flew off the board. I'll have to get that later. And finally, here's the thing you've all been waiting for, folks. I've just been dancing around it. Look at all these. Well, I'm going to continue dancing around it. Let's look at the dice. Of course, it's Dungeons & Dragons, so they got to be D20s. And these are nice. They've got some marbling and whatnot on them. So those are cool. And I believe it's a 2-player only game. And if I recall correctly, when you make your attack, you roll both. Hey, I got a 16 and a 3. I'll use the 16. You attacked me. You got an 18 and a 4. You roll both and you use 1 of the values. I think that's how it works. So you're not just rolling 1, you're rolling 2 and taking the better one for whenever you attack or defend or Thaco or... Does Dungeons & Dragons even do Thaco anymore? Well, what does Thaco stand for? 2-hit armor class 0. Right, that was so ridiculous. We've got some standees for something. Right. I'm sure there must have been some things that would need to... maybe monsters are represented by those standees? I mean, these are obviously the 12 characters. So I don't know what... Or maybe... probably the treasure chests. Yeah, there's 4 of them. There's 4 treasure chests. So probably rather than having the treasure chest lying down, they get to stand up at attention. All right, so I think I can avoid it no longer. Let's look at the miniatures, which is what we're here to look at. Let's zoom in a little bit. All righty. And now here's the thing, folks. These are all pre-painted. That is a very rare thing. And WizKids is known for that with all their Mage Knight stuff. And I gotta say, these are definitely, I've played a lot of different Mage Knight stuff, and they've always been kind of, I always kind of got the impression, well, you know what? I could have painted them that well. These look much nicer. Oh my gosh, look at the little teeth. Here, let's put it on the green screen. In fact, let's turn... I don't know. Is that going to... Yeah, let's get rid of all the green stuff of the green screen. But there we go. Yeah, and just show you... All right, there they are. So, look at... They did his teeth! And the eyes aren't just sad little dots. They actually look like... I mean, again, I'm sure this is not a really high-quality job that, professionals could do. But hey, for just coming out of the box like this, that's pretty nice. Looks nicer than just gray blobs, I gotta say. Is there actual detail on the swords? Is that sword pockmarked from that old kobold. Yeah, these are really pretty impressive. And these are just the... All right, so it looks like there are 4 kobolds that are one of the types of bad guys you fight. What else have we got here? I will open up another bag. And, okay, now we're getting into the hero characters. I'm going to assume that's a monk with the bow staff and all of that. And again, that's pretty... Are there cheekbones colored differently? I think so. Wow. Okay. And looks like, what is that? Is that a drow elf? Is that what they're called? I forget. But, I mean, this was hand done, right? This couldn't have been done by some kind of automated process. So these are pretty impressive. Little miniatures. Oh, all right, those eyeballs, those look like the kind of eyeballs I'm assuming where they're just kind of like, crazy cartoon eyeballs that have just been plopped on. But even still, the rest of him looks pretty good. All kinds of different layers of color, not just like 2 colors and that's it. And, oh, is that a goblin? Is this a playable? Or the archer is probably a goblin. I assume these all came out of the same bag, so I assume these are all playable characters. Yeah, I don't know. What does everybody think? Are there any painters in the room? Look at that guy. And the individual details on his right. That's pretty cool. All right, folks, there's a lot of these. Do you want me to go show you every single one of them? Is this the troll? Or no, I think that's probably still a playable character. Somebody, I'm looking over at the chat. Somebody tell me if you want to see every single one of these things. If so, I will bring them all out. Or we can move on to the next topic. It's really up to you. Wow. Okay. And Goblin says jump. So, that is neither. All right, well, I'll just keep going until somebody says stop. Oh no, a sad droopy battle axe for this character. All right, can I twist it? Can I twist it? Wow, yeah. I think that's going to be one. So that's a problem. I know what you're supposed to do when you get droopy things like this, right? Is that you're supposed to dip them in hot water and then you can reform them as they dry. But can you do that if they're already pre-painted? That I do not know. Okay. Oh, and Headbanging Maniac says show them all. Well, I'm not going to go against the wishes of a maniac, so we will show them all. It's clearly a rogue type character. Alrighty. And then, what have we got here? We've got, I would have almost assumed squires as general purpose. Oh, it's a bard. Clearly a bard with, again, I can see the detail of the loot that the bard is rocking. Wow. This is way, again, nothing compared to what a real painter could do, or somebody who devotes their lives to it, but still, those are pretty darn impressive for just right out of the box like that. And now it looks like we get to the bosses. We have big, scary, I guess is that the Etten? That the junior Etten? With the individual teeth and the big, scary... Yeah, of course, obviously there could be more detail back there. That's all just one color. You'd expect more, but still. Rah! Alrighty. And what else have we got? Oh, wait, no, we've got some more playable characters, I think. Oh, wait, no. Or what is this? Is that a playable character? Could be. And I've forgotten what the bosses were. There was the dragon. There was yeah, there's gnolls. Gnolls are the cannon fire, so these must be elite gnolls that you fight, right? I had those 4 little ones, and then we've got these slightly bigger ones. Oh, it's one-eyed, I assume. Or they forgot to do one eye, or that, whoever did this had a change of heart. It's like those huskies that have different colored eyes. So does this gnoll, apparently. And individual little toe claws. Look at that. All right. Then we've got, okay, this must be the troll. All right. It's its own little bag. 2-headed troll. Has kind of a Jack Sparrow vibe going on, this troll, I think. But that's pretty cool. And finally, hold on a second. We got the big one that I don't think will actually fit on the green screen. We've got the dragon. The dragon comes in multiple parts. All right. Wow. Okay. Let me go back to the F9. Yeah, F9. So that's pretty detailed. That's really nice. The individual little horns on the head and all of that. Yeah. See, this just makes me so sad. Why doesn't this have co-op rules? I would totally want to play this with Jen. I mean, all this great paint work would make me want to play this more than Frosthaven, and I've got Frosthaven. So anyway, come back over here. In fact, actually, let's just come back over to me. Doot. Where is it? Doot. And let's see here, because, right, the wings go in thusly, it looks like. Can I see that hole? All right, one wing. And, oh, I see. Oh, is this supposed to slide in that slot? I think maybe it's supposed to. All right, so, okay, that's in pretty firm. And this one, bring it back out, slide it into the slot, kind of it's got. There. Where's the hole? Where's the hole? There we go. And then we've got the big, ultimate, big, bad, scary dragon. I would like all my fancy miniature games to look this good, please. Out of the box. Just like that. That's pretty cool. All right, folks. That was Dungeons & Dragons Onslaught. Very much nicer than I expected. And since it does not have any kind of cooperative play at all, I will not be playing it, but this will be going to the Dice Tower West Convention Library, and somebody will get to play it down in Vegas. Because that's what all my games that we don't end up keeping, they all end up in Vegas. All right. Done unboxing. Now I feel like, where's that thing? Did anybody go to that website that I said, hey, that website's probably not there? Because it talked about there being alternate scenarios you could download. And if there is a cooperative scenario that I can download, then I might have to think twice before sending this off. Where was it? It was D&D Onslaught.com. Let's go ahead and look at that. D&D Onslaught.com. D&D on SLAUGHT.com. There we go. And, hey, this is what we'll be playing shortly. And we're not playing any of that stuff. Okay. Oh, here comes the web page. Let's share the web page. Where are you? Where are you? Where are you? Oh, I'm in the wrong mode. This will make it easier to find my window left. So, all right, so there's a trailer for it coming in January, so you folks are getting an early view of this game. Let the battle begin. Here's a list of everything I just showed you, some pictures, and coming soon. Free. I want them now. Right click. Oh, nope, nothing. Download free to print and play scenarios for home, tournament resources, expansion packs. Okay, if there's tournament resources they're going to be, letting people download, then this is obviously focused on competitive play or head-to-head play. Unfortunately, too bad, so sad. Okay, well, that's coming to a friendly local game store near you folks. No Kickstarters for WizKids. They just sell that stuff direct. So the unboxing is complete. I've just pulled this out of my ear. All right. Let's see here. And is everybody doing okay? All right. Show them all. There are factories where people mass copy known painting. That's interesting, Ruckus. I will share that information with people who may not be looking at the chat. Mass copy known paintings in China. I wouldn't be surprised if this was done there. I mean, yeah, I've seen other games, most notably WizKid games, Mage Knight, and whatnot. And those always end up looking just like, again, I don't mean to be disparaging, but something that I could probably do if I just put a little bit of work into it. These definitely seem to be better. I wonder if they found a new place or something. I mean, I'm sure they printed up at least 2,000 copies of this thing. So, I mean, it's not like they're just going to mini painters. It's interesting. But, I mean, those were definitely not too bad. I was pretty pretty impressed. And looks like Goblin was checking on Board Game Geek. There's not a hint of solo or co-op. Yeah, I just saw, oh, there's no 1 to 2. It's just 2. And that is too bad because, as I understand it, they do have AI for the monsters you fight. But I really guess it's that, hey, I'm here to fight you. My 5 against your 5. And what do you know? There just happens to be different objectives. Like, oh, for every 3 kobolds you killed while you're here, you'll also get a victory point towards winning the skirmish or stuff like that. But yeah, that is too bad. But that's okay. That's okay. We are done unboxing. We are now going to start playing. Although, not just like that, because I've got to set the game up. For folks who have been here before, you know that when I do a live playthrough, you're not getting just the gameplay, you're getting everything. All right, this is the English rulebook, right? Yes. A lot of rulebooks came with Lacrimosa in different languages. You get to see how I set up my filming. So, let's come back. I already put the camera up way high because I knew this was going to be a big board. It was probably too high for that unboxing. I should have brought the camera back down. But I wasn't thinking. So, oh, by the way, also, folks, if you're curious, here's how I put games away. I just have a bunch of little baggies for stuff of different player colors, for general purpose stuff. For cards, I just put them in, find a bag that will be able to fit the big brick of cards and, other things of alike. So that's why I've never worried about putting my games on the shelf sideways because everything is all bagged up into little individual bags because I have roughly 5,000 baggies, and I will get a use for all of them before we're done. All right, so there's those tiles. There's these tiles. These are the player boards. These are really cool. They open up to be a nice big 2-layer. And then the main board. Okay, don't need the box. You can go off over there. Everybody get out of the way. And we've got to start setting up. Now, one thing I would definitely make my life easier on a long vertical board, a portrait board like this, is just to put it sideways, right? And I've often noticed, that's what most channels seem to do, but I don't believe this really, this gives you the experience of somebody who's sitting on the left side of the table, but that's not cool. Oops, sorry. What was I just wanting to do? I just noticed that green screen flash. There we go. All right, so I've just killed the green screen to see if it's the green screen camera that's flashing. Because, yep, the green screen is no longer working. That's F9, right? No, F9 is doing that. F8 is disabling it. F8? Yes. Okay, so F8. So I have just disabled the green screen, and we'll see if those little glitchy camera things were coming from it predominantly. I could get a little bit closer, couldn't I? That's a fair bit of space on one side or the other. Yeah, I think so. I think I will get a little bit closer. Don't be shy. But let's worry about that after all right. So I'm going to do a 2-player run-through today. These days, whenever possible, I always try to do 1-player run-throughs, solo run-throughs, because it's literally more fun for me to do. And because if I'm only making choices for 1 player, I can, in the same amount of time, in a 40-minute run-through, I can get almost twice as far into a game. So you get to see more stuff happen. But if it's a game like this, where they make, in my estimation, a pretty radical change. Let's see, Jen would be the purple player, wouldn't she? And I think, right, so this is the purple one. Right, okay, and I'll be the orange one. All right, so put these other boards away. This game makes a really huge change to the game to be able to play solo. So I did not feel it would have been appropriate to do a solo run through of this because the Lacrimosa itself, this portion of the board, literally gets cut in half. And, a big portion of the game, this area control that's not between players, but between non-player characters, literally just gets kicked out of the game. So I figure, okay, this time I've got to show it as a 2-player run-through. Which means, actually, you know what? Maybe I can't. If I were to zoom in so I don't have as much dead space here and here, these would be getting really close. So I think this might be the layout I go with then. And that's Jen, the purple player. That's me, the orange player. That might be it. Alrighty. So these are... What are these? Oh, hey, and here's all the rest of them. All right, so we have these, and we have to pick a random 1. Here's a random 5. Just woo. Alrighty, there's a random number. Wait, oh, that's 2 number 4s. Right, so there's a bunch of these for each round. The game lasts for 5 rounds. So I've got a round 1, a round 4, a round 5. Here's a round 2. Here's a round 3. Completely randomly chosen amongst all of these others. These become like little mini goals you're trying to do. By the end of the round, you can score bonuses if you do certain things. So here's all the ones we didn't use. here's the ones we are going to use for rounds 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And they're all supposed to be face down because you're not supposed to know what's coming. Right, okay, so there we go. Right. Come back to that in a second. Earth. And I've asked many times in the past if folks actually enjoy seeing this process of what I go through to actually set up and play a game. And so far, people have always said yes, so I continue to do it. If somebody's hearing like, why is he doing this? Can't he just have set this up beforehand to play the game? I will just point out, this is the request of the peoples. Now, this is interesting. Our player boards have this little pop-out. Although, boy, it's in here tight. There we go. Where you put your player aid, and here is, oh, there we go. There's the English player aid, but if you don't speak English, there are player aids in different languages, which I thought was very cool as a way just to customize the boards. So let me put my English player aid back. Okay, and I don't need any of the other language player aids. All right, so we need to put starting powers in the various cities in Vienna, Paris, and London, the 3 big hotspots. So we just pick some of these at random, blah, 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 blah. And okay, that's what's in London. That's what's in Vienna. That's what's in Paris. And you know what? I got 2 that are exactly the same type of thing. I don't want to do that. I want to have some variety. So let's try and have a 3rd type. Okay, yeah, this is a 3rd type. There we go. Okay, so we're showing 3 different types of main objectives that players can chase after. And all the other ones just randomly go in the draw pile for them. Boop. All right, so those live there. Then we've got to set up all the individual cities. And where are those? These are composers. There are 4 different composers, 2 of which are going to join the game and help us finish the unfinished Lacrimosa. So we'll get to that in a second. Right, here are the bonuses you get out of the smaller cities. Salzburg, Innsbruck, Lyon, and Munich, and so on. So just putting these down randomly. Never know what you're going to get. Boom, 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 boom. And then the rest, again, go into a stack right here. Because if you make it to one of these cities and get those bonuses, new ones have to come out to replace the old ones, as you will see while I play. Okay. Ruckus, yes. Yeah, definitely hardcore mode playing Catalan if that is not your first language. That is not how we'll be playing today. I will be struggling enough as it is. Okay, what else do we need? Jen's the purple player. I am the orange player. We do not have the brown or the blue player. Those can go away. This is Mozart himself. He starts out over here in Salzburg. And then we've got his widow tokens. Right, which means I need to get the cards out. Because the story of this game is Mozart has died. His widow is trying to write a biography, I guess, or write memoirs. And we are former friends, colleagues, patrons of Mozart. And we have all sat down with the widow to tell her our stories of the man, the myth, the legend. And so a big part of this game is managing story points, they are called. But this game has a really weird thing, because a lot of stuff happens literally in the past. Here are the solo cards, which is too bad. The solo mode, I read the rules for it, and it seemed really nice and clean and simple. Would have been easy to play, except, like I said, they cut out half of the Lacrimosa. I'm like, why did you do that? Now I can't demonstrate it that way, which would have been more fun for me. All right. Oh, shoot! No! Don't do that. Undo this. Okay. I forgot. There's a reason they were... Oh, dear. Now they're all stuck together. Careful. Oh, dear. Oh, man. All right, come on. There we go. Okay. Because I would have had to undo all that. Most of these cards are generic ones, but then there are player-specific cards. We all have our starting deck. Here they are, and I almost just shuffled all of the player cards in with all of the other cards, and that would have been very dumb. So I saved myself. I thought that was a bit too big of a brick. All right, that's an orange. That's another universal one. There's purple, 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 player, purple, blue, 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 blue. Blue, all right, and then brown, 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 brown. These cards are going to go back to the box. Oh, and then there's some more general ones. Bippity bop, bip bop, bip bop. All right, and another general one. Okay, where are the orange ones? Oh shoot, I'm in them. Dang it. Is this? No, this is one you can buy. All right, these are all, that's correct. These all belong there. Okay. So where are the ones for the orange player? Are they? Oh, they're probably in here. That was a lot of blues. Blue. Oh yeah, blue and brown. Oh dear. Well, maybe it'll be brown versus purple. So here's all the purple ones. Here's one orange. Oh, is this the rest of them? Nope, these are the things. Those are the multiplayer cards. What the heck? Not that it matters at all. I would just like to be using the correct resources. Shoot, they must be in here somewhere. There's one orange one. My opus, but not my actual memory cards. All right, let's just scan through these really quick. All right. Oh, you know what? Actually, oh, that's right. I can't shuffle all these up because these have to be broken down into the individual rounds too. So I got to do this anyway. All right, all of you out of the way. 1, 1, 1, 1, 2, 2, 2, 2, 3, 3, 3, 3. Oh my gosh. Why is this like this? All right, you can go over there. You move out there. 4, 4, 4, 4. 5, 5, 5. I do not know how I re-put this apart. All right, so basically I'm just pile shuffling all the cards for the different. Then we're back to ones. And hopefully I'll find my, oh, there we go. There they are. All right, so there's an orange and an orange. Found them. All right, then back to shuffling up the different eras. 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2. Right, so then back to the threes. So this was, I probably messed it up by doing that. I probably didn't quite get those separated from that ridiculous aborted shuffle. All right, era 4 and then era 5. Bop, 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 bop. Okay, so era 5 is all shuffled up. Era 4 is all shuffled up independently, as is 3. And then 2, and then 1. And now here's a weird thing. There's this weird setup where at different player counts, you're supposed to take a certain number of cards out of each era. And I do not understand why, because in Jensen Mar plays, we haven't come anywhere close to using all those cards. And it's not like I'm going to play long enough for it to matter in this run through, but should I do it anyway? By the way, folks, this is all stuff I do normally. It's just normally I do it without talk and describing what I'm doing as I go. Shuffle the row and randomly place 3. Yeah. The city tiles. Size personal. What is it? The 4, number 4. Separate the starting cards. Right. Then divide the rest of the opus and memory cards into 5 periods. The ages of the game. I like to think of them as years. I don't know why they said, hey, this game plays over 5 periods. Why not say it plays over 5 years? That just makes more thematic sense. If there's 2 players, remove 2 cards, opus cards and 2 memory cards from each period. Okay, well, I'll do it. Alrighty, so that's a memory, that's an opus, that's a memory. These are gone from period 1. Period 2. There's an opus and a memory and an opus and an opus and an opus and a memory. So there went 2 more. I mean, I'm sure there's a reason for this. I'm probably some weird edge case. So that's an opus, a memory, an opus, and a memory. All right, there's age 3, age 4, memory, opus, and then age 5. And so, folks, if nothing else, you're getting to see the steps you will have to go through if you want to set this game up yourself as a 2-player game. So there were a bunch that went out. Okay, so now the rest of the 5s go below turn. All right, where did those round cards go? Here we go. Okay, so the draw pile is all the cards for age 5 go under age 5. Then all the cards for period, age 4, period 4. I like to think of it as years. At the 4th year, I mean, it's not unreasonable. They would take the widow 5 years to finish her memoirs, right, or her husband's memoirs. There goes the number 4s. Then where do the number 3s go? The number 3s, they go under here. Then the number 2s go under here. Oh, not supposed to know what's coming. And then the number 1s. All right, but first of all, we draw a few. The number ones do come out. And at this point, I will have to put away our progress meters so folks can actually see what's happening while we play. All right, so that is an opus. It slides like that. That is a memory. It goes, wait, no. Yeah, it goes like that. Let me go ahead and zoom in so you can see what I'm doing, because this is a sort of a funky element of the game. This is saying, hey, because this is a memory card, it goes here, and this is what it costs. This is an opus card, so it goes here to say what above it is what it costs. It's clever. All right, and then another, that's a memory card, and that's a memory card, and that is an opus card. It would be kind of nice if the memory and opus cards were like radically different colors or something like that to be able to at a glance tell. And then the remainder of the cards go underneath the round one, and boom, we are done with that. Okay, so that's set up. All right, and what do we got here? All right, these are my cards. Those are Jen's cards. These are the brown and blue players' cards. They're gone. They're on another blue player card. All right, so now, right, and that's mine. One of these cards is randomly chosen to see what state the Lacrimosa was in when Mozart died. How much work did he get done? How much more work is necessary? Let's go on ahead and zoom back in over here. So I pick one of them randomly. Boom. And then I don't need the rest of those cards. And so this says, because I'm playing a 2-player game, I'm going to cover all of these. If I were playing a 4-player game, I'd only be covering these because 4 players would have more work to do. But this is basically just a way to randomly cover up some work. So nothing was, everything, all 3 of these are in the first movement still need to be done. But in the second movement, get rid of a drum, get rid of a brass, and get rid of a string. All right, doesn't matter which one, they're functionally the same. In the third movement, just get rid of 1 brass. In the fourth movement, get rid of the percussion, get rid of 1 of the choirs, get rid of 1 of the strings. So we've got 2 organs, 2 brass, and one. And then the last one, just get rid of, I don't know, do they call it brass? I should look that up. All right, so these 2 tokens did not get used with this card. So Mozart has done some of the work in some of the movements for some of the instruments, and that's where we come in to finish the job. All right, so that is set up. Phew. I bet people who in the past have said, well, yeah, it's great to see the game set up, are starting to second guess that decision now, aren't they? Because there's a lot. And we're not done yet, folks, because now we have to figure out what composers, there are 4 potential composers. These were all apparently in real life. These were acolytes of Mozart. And so 2 of them will randomly get chosen. That one and that one. And these will be the ones who we can hire as Mozart's patrons to finish the work. And this is all based on real history. Mozart didn't finish it. Other contemporaries of his did finish the Lacrimosa of whatever this is. Now, we're not playing a 3-player game, so these tokens go away. The ones that have the little 3 and 4 dots, because those are only for 3 and 4 players. So, right, there's a 4. There we go. So all these go back in their sack jack. And then this is Freistettler. And he can work in number 4, number 2, number 1, number 5, number 5, number 4, number 2, number 3, and number 3. But I now have to put these in descending order. The first ones are cheaper, right? So there we go. Cheap to more expensive. Cheap to more expensive, that's correct. It is a lot of setup, I know, but it's a very good game. Very, very good. This is definitely one of those games where if you're trying to do you know what? My earbud keeps falling out of my ear. I'm going to take it out. I'm going to turn the volume on. Could somebody do a sticker? Any sticker you want, a hey, listen, or whatever. I'm just going to see if that actually, how bad that picks up. Let's see, where would that come through? Oh, that would come through here. Right. So, I'm sure nobody was prepared to do a sticker if you don't know how to do it. If you're watching the video on a browser, you just scroll down a little bit and there's a whole bunch of stickers you can click on. And if you could do one to make a test happen, that would be fantastic. I know no one was expecting an interactive experience here, but I could use it because that thing kept falling out of my ear. Oh, shoot. You know what? I didn't hear that at all. Wow. I see it, but I did not hear it. Curses. Well, then it fails the test. I will get the ear back in my ear, and I'm sure I would have heard it then. Okay, I can hear that, but that's just so quiet. All right, be prepared to do another one. Hit me again. When you get to it.
Hey, listen.
Now, here's my question for you. Did you hear that double up? I can hear it coming through my speakers. You can hear it me streaming, but then could you also hear my microphone pick that up so you heard it doubled? Because it would be nice for me just to listen to them with my ears, but I don't want to hear doubled up sound effects during the actual playthrough. So, are there no? Right. Oh, just heard it once. Goblin. Okay, well, great. Cool. Then maybe I've been using these earbuds for nothing. I mean, this is a directional mic. Boom, 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 boom. So, yeah, it is pointing towards me and away from my speakers, so maybe it's okay. If so, that is very cool, and that'll just be cool in general, because I hate always having to have that little thing in my ear. Oh, there's a... All right, did you hear the giggle? Did you hear it double up or echo in any way, folks? The giggle from the LOL. All right, so these were... Oh, no, not that one. There's a 4-player. Wow, okay, there's just a lot more of this guy. This guy gets a lot of work done. All right, this is Ibler. So, Ibler, 2, 2, 5, 5, 2, 4, 3, 4, 2. Man, these numbers are so tiny. I'm pretty sure that's a 4. That's a 3. That's a 3. That's a 5. And that's a 1 and a 1. All right. All right, so now arrange them in cost. That was correct right off the bat. Oh, hey, here's another one. There's another higher player count. I can see dots. I am sharp. 1, 1, 1, 2, 1, 3. All right. So there we go. Yeah, that seems more appropriate. All right, 2, 3, 2, 2, 2, 4. Cheapest one on the top. First player to get there gets to save some cash money. 4, 5. Oh, hey, look at that one goes away too. There we go. Oh, wow. So there's only 2 of these? 4 and 4. That's kind of strange. 5, 5, 5. There were 3 of all the other ones. Did I remove one I shouldn't have removed? 2, 5, 1, 2, 4, 1, 2, 3, 1. I'm feeling like I accidentally removed one of these, and I shouldn't have. But these both have the multiplayer dots. Shoot, shoot, shoot. But I don't know. Maybe that's just the way it is. Yeah, I mean, these are... Yeah, okay. I will just trust that they set up right. Again, it's not like I'm going to play far enough for that to matter, but that would definitely be something I'd want to check. Alrighty, so these are the ones I did not use. All right, folks, thank you for your patience and helping out. We're pretty much set up now. Oh, we're not quite yet. Now we got to set the player boards. Alrighty. So, we each have our deck of cards, our deck of memories, and we have one opus that we have ready to perform on his behalf to raise some funds. We start with a little bit of income on the number 2 spot. We have 2 memories of his travels, of the man himself, and of his genius. That's marked over there. We've got these tokens. We've got our victory point token. And oh my gosh, now I'm missing a purple token. Oh, please be here amongst all the general purpose stuff because I'm missing a purple. Is it? It's gone. Rat. Which means it could be in the other room. Oh my gosh. This has to come off the board because the camera is so high up. You're seeing things that normally you don't see along the edges. Here is the player turn marker. Please be a purple thingy over here. Please? Please? Nope. No purple thingy over there. Crap. Arrgh! All right. Well then. Let's make sure I'm not missing any orange ones. All right, this is actually kind of cool. You know how when you go around you wrap around? We always put them on the board, but these dual-layer boards come with little slots you can put them in. So, hey, this is just my crest, but when I get to 50, I can flip it, and then when I get to 100, I can reveal the one underneath. That was just a nice little touch. Shame about the missing what's-a-who's. You know, maybe it's just as well, because with my lighting, purple ends up coming across kind of black. All right, so, yeah, I think we're going to switch to blue. It's going to be blue versus orange, and I'll find the purple piece. I'm sure it's on the floor. in the room where we actually play games. Sorry, folks. This was a big one. There's a lot to set up here, obviously. All right, so this is... All right, I will put my magnum opuses over here. Did I just see another glitch? I think I did. Even though the green screen is off, we're still glitching. Makes me so sad. All right, that's my draw pile and the one magnum opus I have. Yeah, thanks, AG. It's driving me nuts. I've tried everything. I mean, it's to the point where I pretty much just have to buy a new freaking computer or something. All right. But the thing is, there's no reason for me to worry about it because nobody has ever complained about it once, ever. So I'm just being way oversensitive for no particular reason. All right, so we're getting rid of the blues. We're going to replace them, or the purples, and replace them with the blue, which means this big thing I didn't think I had to look at or show you, this big mess I was making off to the side, you get to see this big mess. Here's the blue player. Okay, come on back, blue player. Let's, I won't bother swapping out the board. All right, please have all the blues. Blue, 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 blue. Looks good. Looks like I got enough. Yep, excellent. All right, so this will now become the purple bag. There we go, blue crest. All righty, purple stuff goes back into the former blue bag, missing a purple piece, which I will find. Hopefully Daisy hasn't chewed it up, because if it's left on the floor, Daisy says, that's mine. Okay, so, yeah, I still do not need to have the camera this far away, I feel like. I feel like that's kind of wasteful. Plus, there's all this dead space up here that I've got nothing to put in. So I'm going to keep on talking while I come around here, and I'll just bring the camera a bit closer. Up. I can get closer still, but I mean, this is a huge board, so let's see. And then if I kind of, all right, don't want to get off the edge of the table, and then kind of come around like this. Yeah, because you don't need to see any of this stuff necessarily. And so we can still see the player. Maybe I'll rotate Jen's board, or maybe there's another reason I like doing solo plays, because I don't have to have two player boards, so I can just get the camera closer in general, which is much nicer. But in this case, I have to do it just because they made such a huge cut to a core feature of the game. So if I go like that and go like that, yeah, this is how it's going to lay out. This will work better. I will not make the board crooked, but I will make player boards crooked, and that's going to be okay, I think. All right. All right, and then blue comes back over here. And so it's got to go up high. Whee! And I can bring all the other stuff, all the different things, the money and the memory tokens. And I'll just put them in a pile up here. Get those off screen. That will fill that space in nicely. In terms of table composition. Okay, there we go. So there's a bunch of stuff there. Don't need the chicken cup. Okay, so that's peeking in. Jen, boy, I could almost, no, I don't think Jen would, there's too much space over there. Okay, so, but I can move the whole thing over a bit, definitely. Definitely, which gives me a little bit more space. All right, so now I will just keep my hand of cards that I draw from there. I will keep my magnum opuses there, and Jen's got plenty of space to fill. There's her one magnum opus, and then here's her draw deck. Okay. And because of this layout, I'll just let you folks know a little secret. During play, I've already decided that Jen is not going to go heavy into magnum opuses. She's going to try to avoid that. Or no, I'm sorry, I'm not going to, because I don't have as much space to put magnum opuses. Jen can go heavy. She's got space for like 3 or 4 magnum opuses over here. So her strategy before the gameplay has even started has been to specialize in drafting more magnum opuses, so to fill up all of this blank space on the table. Me, I've got room for, actually, maybe I should put this over here. Yeah, I've got room for a little bit. Yeah, I could do it too, actually. Now that I think about it, yeah, that worked out pretty well. Okay, how's that look, everybody? If you're even still here, if I haven't scared you all away with all this persnickety detail that is just part and parcel of my job. Alrighty. Well, there's still 50 of you that have stuck it out somehow. Although you're all lurking. You've all just walked. Goblin says, what? Huh? Yeah, that's understandable. That's understandable. But this is still good, right? I mean, okay, yeah, Gadeo loves it. Yeah, I mean, it doesn't get much more behind the scenes than this. This is what I do, almost every day of my life, is set up stuff to film and worry about all that. Let's see, let me go back to full screen, because I feel like the camera's a little crooked. Oops, where'd you go? There we go. No, that looks pretty good. Yeah, okay, I think that looks pretty good. Okay, cool. Right, now, did I already... I already got the box cover, didn't I? Yes, I did. So, hey, everybody, today Rahdo runs through Lacrimosa, and then, look, it's Lacris. Lacradacra. All right, we have starting money. If I recall correctly, I start as the first player with 10, and Jen starts with, I think it was 11. I think she gets one more for being second player. I will double check that. And do we start with any memories? I don't think we do. All right, each player puts their point shield. Each player has 2 income. Oh, yep. All right. Okay. That's fine. That's fine. Each player has 2 income. Randomly select who will be the first player. Player 1 gets 10 ducats and no victory points. Player 2 gets 11 and no victory points. Yep. And that's it. Okay. Phew. Now, the only question is, do I even remember how to play this game? I read the rules again this morning when I got up, but that was like 4 hours ago. But we'll get through it, folks. Goblin was, yeah, okay. Cool. Yeah, all right, well, folks, you know what you get when you show up for these things. And again, this game has a much higher setup cost than most other Euros. So, you folks are getting to see that firsthand. And, that's not something I would necessarily call out, because genuinely, I don't care about setup costs. I don't mind a big game. To me, it's almost kind of like ritualistic, and I enjoy putting all the things in the right places and stacking the decks correctly. Maybe I'm just a weirdo, but to me, that's actually fun. I know for some people, if some people had seen this, although remember, of course, I had to go a little bit further, because not only am I just setting it up, but I'm also trying to set it up with this camera in mind and all of that. But yeah, it is definitely, this game had a lot of setup. Alrighty. Is there any chance that you're, no, 2? Yep, those are all right. There's just one shorter here. All right, anyway. Phew. Okay, folks, well, before we get to doing the playthrough there, as you know, there is just one more thing that needs to be done, and that is you all have to fight to the death. So let me go on ahead and, exclamation point, Battle Royale. All right, and I'm not using the ears, I'm just... Yeah, the microphone doesn't pick up that train sound, or plane sound. Now, folks, while you're fighting to the death, let me know. I'm going to stop talking for a little bit. Do you hear the music doubling up? I think that's low enough. I can see the microphone is picking up the music, and I can hear the music very clearly, but I don't think that it's loud enough for you to get it doubled up. Sounds good. Well then, Goblin, let's see how you're doing in the fight. Oh, Goblin is backstabbing Little Buster and takes Little Buster out with the silly snake. But then Andrew Scott returns the favor. But Andrew is facing off against Charis and has no chance. Meanwhile, Corthane backstabs Charis. Charis returns the favor. Feldfan tries to get into it and should have stayed away. And this is not a fight. Oh, is Corthane getting that health back? If so, it's over. Oh, Charis, keep going. Your watermelon head is not going to save you, Charis. It's Corthane's fight to lose. Corthane is no loser. There we go. Okay, sweet. It's all working. I guess it occurred to me, I could have made that sound. I didn't have to make you guys find stickers. Although remember, folks, if something goes wrong while I'm playing, if I make a mistake that somebody knows I make, by all means, use that hey, listen to catch my attention, and I'll see if I can, correct it on the fly. Or would it feedback? No, I don't think it would feedback. Tell you what, I could test it. I could crank it up higher, but no. Why risk it? Why take the chance? Let's just leave it be. Let's just let sleeping dogs lie. But no, I don't think it gets into a feedback kind of situation. Feedback is when there are two separate microphones that are interacting with each other, right? And there's only one microphone in this equation. There's a speaker that's coming to my ears so that I can hear the events, but it's also coming to this microphone that you can just barely see right off camera right there. And it's just that the microphone, it's apparently loud enough for me to hear, but not for the microphone to hear such that you would hear it. So that's cool. That is really nice. I will probably have to do some experiments and see just how high I can push it, because it's nice not having this in my ear. That is really distracting. Okay, so, an hour in, and we are ready to start playing now. Geez, that was a bit, yeah, an hour and 13 minutes in. No, because I started early ahead of time. Anyway, so, let's see, Goblin. I see you're curious about more stuff. Folks, it's at this point that I'm going to stop. Not that I've been paying much attention to you anyway so far, but thank you for helping me identify the sound stuff. But obviously, I'm going to start playing now. I will pause if I need to look something up or I've forgotten, and I'll do all the clapping and I'll mark and all of that. If somebody raids, I'll pause too, because why not? Why not just keep going? But just in general, if you have questions, depending on how long this takes, I'm only going till 2. This might take the entire rest of the time. I might not have any Q&A. But since we've unlocked a bunch of stuff, folks, remember, woohoo, look at all that stuff we've unlocked. We've unlocked a thingy and another thingy. We'll be back next week with Ruel doing an R&R. And I'm thinking doing a top 10 hidden gems of 2022. I could just do top 10 games of 2022, but that makes no sense to do that, because I'm going to be doing that on Christmas Eve and Christmas morning, my preliminary top 10 of the year. But hidden gems seems like a pretty cool topic that I think people, what are the games that flew under the radar that everybody missed? So I suspect, unless somebody can come up with a better idea, we'll be back a week from today, me and Ruel doing top 10 hidden gems and all the normal stuff we do. And then something else the following week, because we've unlocked 2 things. And then for the final weeks, I'm going to be doing my end of the year stuff. Right. Okay. Lacrimosa. What I always like to say, welcome to. Where are we? The game is set in 1791. In 1791, on his deathbed, Wolfgang Amadeus Mozart wrote the last 8 bars of his life, the Lacrimosa of the Requiem in D minor. His widow, Constance, has decided to contact up to 4 of the late composer's most generous patrons and help her employ the right composers to complete the work and leave it. So, it doesn't say where we are. So we're in Europe. It's the 18th century Europe. But I'm going to assume we're in Salzburg. Hey, what is it? Hey, I heard that quite clearly. What is it? Top 10 games we missed. Stuff that looked good but you didn't get to play. That's a good suggestion. You know what? I'm going to forget that. That is a really good suggestion. Could you whisper that to me using the direct message feature on Twitch, which is literally the best thing there is about Twitch. Yeah. Oh, and wait, hold on a second, though. A rating party. Hey, Board Game Geek TV. How are you doing? Hey, Lincoln. Hey, Derek. Hey, Nikki. Hey, whoever it might have been. Was it lots of Lincoln painting? If so, you should have gotten here an hour ago, because I just unboxed a whole bunch of pre-painted miniatures from D&D Onslaught from WizKids. I will get one of them back out and show you. Just one, though. All right, which one? Oh, of course I'll get the dragon out. Look at this dragon. This dragon that comes pre-painted. Oh, I gotta turn back on the...
Listen!
Hey, what is it? Caught the tail end. They were playing Splendor Duel. Oh, then you weren't doing... well, okay, then. You can watch the unboxing later, folks. If you were in a painting kind of mood. Hey, look! Folks! I found the other purple piece. But we're going to stay with blue. We're staying with blue. Okay, thanks, Splendor Duel. Oh, okay, that must have been Lincoln and Nikki, I bet. That's cool. Well, hang around, folks, because we're going to keep playing. You're here just at the right time. I'm about to start doing a Rahdo run-through of Lacrimosa. I'm not going to play through an entire game. I'm just going to be demonstrating for like the first year, maybe the first 2 years of the game, so you get a sense for what it's like. This game is absolutely awesome. Whoa!
Hey, listen!
Thank you. I see what you were hey-listening me now. This morning I filmed my, oh my God, that's been there the whole time, hasn't it? Hasn't it? The whole freaking time. Oh, I'm such a dummy. This morning I filmed the crowd sorcery show. You know, every 2 weeks I say, hey, here's all the crowdfunding campaigns that are ending in the next 2 weeks. And I totally forgot to take that banner off. And it's been sitting there the whole freaking time. And you have, although to be fair, it's been there the whole time. You folks could have told me an hour and 10 minutes ago that it was there. But no, you were just laughing and snickering. But I appreciate that you didn't want me to accidentally record it for the real run through. Actually, that's not a danger. All the little avatars, this thing, events, none of those things appear in my, because I'm actually streaming this with all the live stuff on, and I'm also recording it as a separate file, and the two things do not overlap. When I record, those things don't appear, banners don't appear, all that stuff disappear, or it's not recorded, it's only streamed. It's why I have to keep using StreamYards. It's why I haven't switched over to regular OBS, which might cut down on the number of glitches I get, quite frankly. But someday OBS will put that functionality that Streamlabs has had for years, and then I will switch over. But until they do, I'm stuck with Streamlabs OBS. Right. But anyway, yes. Thank you, Con210K. Oh man, that's been there the whole freaking time. And I've been looking at the screen for quite a bit. I completely tuned it out. That is very, very embarrassing. Thank you, everybody, for warning me about it, though. Okay. Okay. Oh, hey, since we're probably not going to have time to do Q&A afterwards, I see a Q did come in from Goblin. Goblin assumes that I'll read the rules for the Dungeons & Dragons Onslaught game and say, not for us. Will I in some way let you know what I think about the rules if you don't play it? Maybe on Patreon or something. No, actually, I'm not even going to bother reading the rules, Goblin. It's a game where you and I sit down for an hour and beat the crap out of each other. I am not going to even spend 20 minutes reading that rulebook. I already know. I will skim the rulebook very quickly to see if there's any chance that it has some kind of solo or co-op mode. And if it does, but I don't believe it does. People have already looked on Board Game. I think you looked on Board Game Geek. So I'm not even going to bother. What you just saw was all the coverage that Dungeons & Dragons Onslaught is going to get. A big unboxing, looking at every single miniature and talking about the basic gameplay based on what I knew of the game. And actually showing its website too, since we did that as an aside. So no, but like I said, after this, I'm just going to box it all back up nice and pretty and put it in the big gigantic box of games to go to Dice Tower West Convention Library. Okay. Oh, and I just said that in front of Board Game Geek. It's interesting. Why don't I send any of these games to Board Game Geek Library? I guess because Scott never asked. Lincoln, tell Scott to ask if he wants. I mean, right now, pretty much every game I get rid of goes to Dice Tower West. They could be going to Board Game Geek too. I mean, I like Tom and I like Dice Tower West. I like Board Game Geek more. Anyway, though, that's neither here nor there. Okay. I think we are ready to go. I have no other outstanding questions. I have put it off long enough. We had a very exciting raid. Welcome to the party, everybody. Those of you who stuck around. I am now going to start recording. Okay, so let me get one last sip. Let me turn off the notices so you guys can see the screen. And put on my not interacting with the audience while I'm filming. Get my last drink of water. It was the 18th century, right? Yeah. Boy, I really wish I knew where we were. Should I just say we're in Salzburg? I'm just going to say we're in Salzburg. It'd be really nice if they said that, but they don't. It's okay. It'll be close enough. If I'm wrong, Paula will correct it. And I just saw a glitch! Ugh. Right. And so that glitching is not my green screen, because my green screen is off. So I guess there's no reason to turn it off. If I'm glitching anyway, I might as well have it so I can use it so that I can show cards while I'm playing. Let me make sure that... is that focused? Yep, that looks like that should be in focus. All right. Oh, you know what? Oh, I need to focus the overhead view. Because when the camera is higher up, I need to manually focus it a little bit because my presets are a bit off. I'm glad I remembered that. Otherwise, it's so subtle it probably won't make much of a difference to you. But let's just go ahead and fix that. Overhead camera. Configure video, go to properties, and go from focus of 15 to a focus of 10. Did that make any kind of difference? Could you tell, folks? It should have, but again, really subtle. Probably not much of a difference, really. Okay. Yeah, functionally, it doesn't matter. They can be put on our boards, Gadeo, as, was it 8th or 16th notes? When you use them, you put them over here. That's when you decide what they're going to be. When they're in storage, it doesn't matter what they are. Good question, though. Okay. Lived in Salzburg till he was 25. Then he died. And he died when he was 35. I'm going to say Salzburg. Thank you, Goblin, for, we're going to say, hey, everybody, welcome to 18th century Salzburg, where the maestro has passed on. Okay. Oh, do they? They say we're in a Vienna cafe? On his deathbed, game relates, constants, player, taking the role of patrons, Europe, tell the stories of travels across Europe and the works they funded. All of these memories are told from the storyteller's subjective point of view or parts of the patrons sponsor writing. I don't see the word Vienna anywhere in here. Third paragraph. All right. I'm almost there. A game is played over 5 rounds. Different stage of composer's life. Oh, wow. Correspond to a different period in a different stage. All right. Okay, no, that does make sense. If there are players who will carry out their turns, during their turn you'll have... Where does it say? The letter. Okay. In addition, I would like to leave behind a document that narrates the life of my departed husband. Perhaps be willing to meet me at the Café Herzog in Vienna. Oh, great. Perfect. Thank you. Perfect. Okay. Welcome to Vienna, everybody. To the Café Herzog. All right. Okay. What would I do without you folks? Yeah, that's excellent. I saved me from a terrible, terrible mistake. Yes, it's there if I read it. Yes. It was there. It was all along. So was all that banner at the bottom of the screen, and nobody bothered to tell me about that, did they, Goblin? Did they? Although you did, you came through in the end, so thank you for that. Okay, so, right, we are ready to go. All right, and 3, let me put the marker. Hey everybody, today on Rahdo Runs Through, we're taking a look at Lacrimosa. But before I get going, please turn your subtitles onto the Klingon channel so that when I make rules goofs, you'll know what they are. And if you've done that, then welcome to Vienna, folks. It's the 18... blah, 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 blah. All right. I was going to say... What was I even going to... I didn't even know what... All right. Take 2. Marker. Hey everybody. Today on Rahdo Runs Through, we're taking a look at Lacrimosa. But before I get going, please turn your subtitles on to the Klingon channel so that when I make rules goofs, you'll know what they are. And if you've done that, well, then welcome to Europe, folks. It's the 18th century, and we have decided to meet the widow of the maestro, Mozart, at a small cafe in Vienna to start telling her stories of our time with the great composer. We, in this game, take on the role of some of his greatest patrons. And so we've got a lot of stories to share with her. And while we're doing that, we are also working to work with composers who were, I guess, acolytes or followers of Mozart to finish the Lacrimosa of the, the Requiem in D minor, his final work that he was literally working on his deathbed. And to honor the man, we are going to do everything we can to remember him, to help the widow end up writing memoirs, and to get this work finished. Now I'm going to show you how it works today in a 2-player game. I am the yellow player. Jen is the blue player. And as part of setup, we have put a whole bunch of different opportunities in cities all over Europe. We have chosen 2 of 4 potential composers who can finish the work that Mozart started. We have marked some of the instruments in some of the movements that Mozart did. We've got to fill in all these other spaces. And we've got a whole bunch of cards that basically are our memories. And we start with a deck of memories as well. Here is my starting deck. We have the exact same 9 cards. We draw 1, 2, 3, 4. And Jen over here, she also has 4 starting cards. 1, 2, 3, 4. and the game is afoot. How does it work? Well, actually, we have this very, very cool little player aid that slots into our dual layer player board. This is the English version, but there are different language versions, so that's a really cool way to be language independent, that, hey, there's all these different things you can put in here that remind you that every year, we're going to play over 5 years. First of all, we draw 4 cards. You just saw us do that. Then we play 2 cards, and we repeatedly do this over and over again until we've gone through our deck, and that will be the end of the first year. Then we will do some income and cleanup, all of these steps, and we will move on to the second of 5 years. That's how the game goes. At the start of our turn, we've always got 4 cards to choose from. I'm going to go, and what am I going to do? Well, there's one more thing I have to do. Because we're in the first year, we reveal this Constance card. That was the wife of Mozart. And Constance says she's interested in hearing stories about the travels of Mozart. So this goes right over here. And so at the end of the first year, for every recollection we have about travels, we make 2 extra coins. So that's something that we should pay attention to. And oh, beautiful. I've got both of my travel memories in my hand. In a given year, we only ever have 9 cards. We're going to go through 8 of them. Everybody has 2 travel cards. I got both of mine. I'm hoping Jen won't necessarily see both of her travel cards, but obviously she wants to hear stories about travel. I can tell stories about travel, so maybe that is as good a start as any. So here's what you do. You take 2 of the 4 cards from your hand. You play one of them in the top slot for the round that we're in. We're here in the first of 4 rounds of the first year. And that says, I am going to tell stories. I'm going to have memories about Mozart's travels. At the beginning of the game, Mozart's little meeple is over here in Salzburg. And I'm going to tell stories about that. But I have to play another card as well. And all of these are multi-use cards. They have an action on the top that is the stories you're going to tell, or the action you're going to do, I should say. And then they've got icons on the bottom. And this is saying, I'm trying to work up more memories of more stories that I'll be able to tell later. So I've got to pick one of these 3 remaining cards to slot into the bottom. And that will be an action I cannot do in this first year. So I think it makes sense for me, well, I definitely want to keep this because I'm going to want to talk about 2 travel stories. So I'm not going to put that one. So I'm going to bury one of these 2. If I use this one, I'll have one recollection of Mozart, the man himself, going into the second year. If I do this one instead, I'll have another recollection about travel and one about his genius, about his musical talent. I think I'd rather have more memories about the man himself going into the second year, for reasons that might become clear as we move forward. So I'll probably explain that later. But these cards that I put down here will not resolve until the end of the year. This is what I'm going to do right now. So these are the 2 cards I didn't play, and it's time to tell stories of travel on the open road. So let's go on ahead and take a closer look at the map, shall we? What have we got here? So here we are in Salzburg, and this token here says that, hey, since I'm in Salzburg, I can talk about adventures in Salzburg. This would require 1 travel memory. And if I were to do this action, then I would oh, I'm going to have to look that icon up. Oh man, there are so many icons in this game. I totally forgot to look up the icons. I believe that means, I think that is an icon for if I sell a particular opus, I get 2 income. I think that's what that is, right? Yeah, here it is. This city allows you to sell, or no, it's immediate. I would immediately get to do a sell of a religious opus. I don't have any religious, and if I do, I would make you paying the cost, receiving the corresponding reward, and also, right, I'd get a bonus, right? So, right, that's an action I can do. Okay, righty, continuing on. Now here's the problem. This says that if I were to have a memory about this, it would give me this bonus. I could immediately sell an opus, a magnum opus of Mozart's that I had commissioned while he was still alive. And I believe, is that the religious symbol? Yes, it's the religious symbol. And I would increase my income by 2. That would be great. Except I haven't commissioned any works of Mozart yet. I start with one. Everybody starts with one basic one, but this one is just a general purpose one. It's not a religious one. So that makes me rethink, well, if I wanted to use this, I should get an opus, a religious opus first. But here's the problem. If I look up at the top of the board, all of the different opuses that are available, there's outdoor concerts, indoor concerts. There are none up there that I could actually commission to then be able to sell by interacting with Salzburg. So it doesn't make any sense to interact with Salzburg. That's not going to help me at all. So instead, as you can see, there are roads leading out of Salzburg, one to Munich, one over here to Vienna. And if I pay 2 coins or 1 coin, I could move and get these bonuses. But I could go further. If I want to come all the way over here to London, I could pay 1 coin, 1 coin, 2 coins. I could pay 4 of my starting 10 coins to snag this. These big cities, London, Paris, and Vienna, these give me benefits that will let me score big points at the end of the game if I do certain things. As opposed to the small cities, which will just give me a benefit immediately that I'll be able to use right out of the gate. So I've got to ask myself, well, here's the thing. I know that this year I'm going to want to travel again to get more benefits out of this. So if I'm going to travel once, should I travel a second time? You know what I think I am? I'm not going to stay here and do this because I can't use this power. I'm going to go cheap though. I have 5 coins. I'm going to spend 2. So there was a 5. I get 3 and change. I'm sorry, I should say I started with 10. So, and I'm just going to travel over here to Vienna. I'm just going to stop right there. And now it says I have to tell 2 stories. It shows I need to spend 2 memories, travel memories of Mozart to grab this tile. And if we look at my player board, at the beginning, as part of setup, I've got 2 memories of the man, 2 memories of his travels, and 2 memories, or I think the game calls these stories, 2 stories of his musical mastery. So I'm going to spend all the stories I have about his travels. And so I can't tell any more stories about his travels, which is a problem because I do want to tell more stories later on because the widow has requested it. I'll worry about that in a minute. So I'm going to tell 2 so that I can snag this. Now, what is this? Well, at the end of the game, this says that if I've upgraded cards to level 1 from the first year and the second year, or periods the game calls them, I can get bonus points. So this has now given me an objective. I need to get cards upgraded this year. And if I don't, see, this is kind of dangerous too, because of my starting cards, one of these remaining cards will let me upgrade my deck. But it's okay. I can still get opuses as well. I'm fine. I think I'm going to be able to pull this off. So now I've definitely got a goal. Before the first year is out and before the second year is out, I've got to get some cards to be able to get these 4 bonus points at the end of the game. So that was it. And now this stays empty. These cities will not refill until the end of the turn. And that was it, folks. On your turn, you play a card here to do an action. I moved around so that I could tell stories of Mozart in Vienna, which gave me a thing that will let me unlock bonuses at the end of the game. And I am done. And I've also set myself up so when we go into the second year, I'll have more memories of the man himself. These black memories that I can spend, basically I spend them to upgrade my cards. The red travel memories, I mostly use them to move around the board. And the white memories, the memories of his mastery, I use these down at the bottom of the board to get more movements of the Lacrimosa completed. So that was it for me. It is now Jen's turn. She sees this same goal. We're both all kind of want to tell travel stories, and Jen also got a travel story right out of the gate. So that's pretty cool. But Jen doesn't have to do this right now. She could do some other stuff as well. All right. And all right, yeah. So okay, I understand what these are. I'm just going to double check one thing, but I'm pretty sure. Yep. This is really awesome. They have this player aid that reminds you of all the steps, but they do not have a player aid that reminds you of all the. Nope, they do not. Right? Okay, yeah. So that is what I thought it was. So let me think about what is. All right, I just want to be able to spontaneously say what is Jen going to do. So I'm going to strategize a little bit before I continue, since I paused just to double check an icon. So here's the thing. I could just move again, but from the point of view of actually filming this run through, I don't want to have the audience watch the exact same action a second time. That's no good. So often when I'm making strategic choices while I'm filming a run through, I'm trying to think of what is a good strategic reason I have to do something different than what the other player has done. So, and it's tricky to do because if you were here for me setting all this up, folks, this was all set up randomly. Let's see, if Jen were to say, and so she knows she wants to travel, so she knows she's probably just going to travel here or here. Oh, so that would let her get one of the opuses. And, right, and so you're going to travel over here. We need to have and it's such a problem. There's no religious opuses out. Now, more religious opuses can come out. So if Jen says, hey, you know what? She would like to get to Salzburg and get this, but it doesn't do her any good. So Jen decides she's going to start upgrading cards sooner than later in the hopes that maybe a religious one will come out so that she can then get it and then rush over to Salzburg and sell it. I think that's a good story. So with that in, yeah, okay, cool. Strategy. So yeah, Jen could travel, but there are first come opportunities, and Jen's eyeballing this Salzburg thing herself. She, like me, just has a general purpose opus right from the get-go. It's not a religious one, so she couldn't sell it to get a bonus income for the rest of the game. She would like to get that. And remember, I said, hey, there's 2 outdoor opuses and 1 indoor opus. The only way to get more of these out here is to grab those cards. So I think Jen's going to start out, but not using this. This icon here means Jen would contribute to the Lacrimosa itself, which is a big source of points. There's like a whole area control game going on down here. She'll save that for later. She's going to use one of these 2 because these cards will let her upgrade her memory cards or upgrade her deck or get more opuses. And you can see there are 1, 2, 3, 4 memory cards and 1, 2, 3 opus cards that randomly came out of that deck. So I think Jen wants to be the first player to get an upgraded opus card. I think that does make sense. So this is the first action Jen is going to do. This is this picture says Jen is going to journal her memories. And so we slot that into her top slot. That's the action she's going to do this round. And then we got to take one of the other cards and put it at the bottom. Jen is planning on talking about travel stories, but she's going to do that later. Oh, this is perfect. Jen, this is a card that Jen is going to slot in. Which means in the second year, she would get some more recollections of the musical abilities of Mozart, which would help down here, but that's not going to stick around for long, as you will see. So Jen has slotted her 2 cards in, and now she does this action. And to do that, we need to take a look at all those cards way up there and decide, what does Jen want? If she had played this card instead, this would have been commissioning a new magnum opus, which there were 3 to choose from. But Jen is saving this because she wants to commission a religious opus, and there aren't any out right now. So Jen didn't play that one. But, which is why she said, hey, she's going to grab that, or that. And now, strictly speaking, the further to the right they are, the cheaper they are. This is the cheapest one. This will cost 1 coin and 1 memory of any choice, anything that Jen wants. Alrighty. So, right, let's go with that. Jen will spend 1 of her starting coins. And if we take a look at her board, she had 2 of each. Let's see here. She will go on ahead and spend 1 musical memory, 1 musical story. So here's the thing about this game, folks. You have to imagine almost everything that we're doing in this game is us sitting around in a cafe in Vienna, just telling stories. So what Jen is doing right now is she's telling stories that are ultimately going to upgrade. She is buying this card. It costs 2 coins. And this was the actual story she told. Some musical story to be able to trigger this action. And now what happens is you only ever have 9 cards in your deck. The card that Jen slipped down in here, which was a basic Lacrimosa, this is out of the game. It's been replaced with this one. So Jen has effectively upgraded this card into this. So this time, now that Jen will have this card for this game, whenever she contributes to Lacrimosa, she also gets an extra coin and an extra recollection. And and at the end of the year, she was going to get 1 recollection about on the white memories, the white stories. But with this upgrade, it slots in to replace the old one. Nope. She gets 3. So in the second year, when Jen gets this card back, she's going to have a much more powerful focus on the Lacrimosa itself because she upgraded. All right. And, and she saw that one was cheap. She saw it would be a nice upgrade to a card she already had. Now, she could have upgraded. She could have slotted this in the bottom, in which case she would have gotten rid of one of her abilities to tell travel stories and instead would have had an extra ability. And you could do that. You could play this entire game never telling a single travel story or never contributing to Lacrimosa. There are so many different things to focus on. But right now, Jen says, hey, you know what? I've got a basic Lacrimosa card. I'm just going to upgrade that to a better one. So that was Jen's first turn. And we now go on to my second turn. Oh, I forgot, by the way, folks, always watch with the Klingon subtitles. As it says right here, at the end of your turn, or no, it doesn't say, it doesn't remind you, but at the end of your turn, you always draw 2 more cards because you always have 4 cards in your hand right from the get-go. So these are the 2 cards Jen draws going into her second turn. And we are now on my second turn. And so I could tell another travel story. I could journal my... Oh, by the way, a new card should have come out. And it's another memory card. Jen was hoping it would be a religious opus so that she could rush over there and get it really quick. Because remember, she's sitting on a card that would let her get a religious opus. So she's hoping one comes out so that she can make use of that Salzburg. But anyway, in the meantime, do I just do some more travel? Do I just get this done, get it out of the way? I've got plenty of cash right from the get-go. It kind of makes sense. And if I don't mind really burning through cash, I've given myself 1 objective for the end of the game. That's 4 points if I can do this. Now that means before this first year is out, I need to grab at least 1 of those cards. I need to, so that I will have gotten 1 part of this objective. But I've still got time. I'm going to do 4 actions this year, so I've still got time. So what can I do? I can journal like you saw Jen do, or I could do this instead, and that would let me grab an Opus card. And again, it's the 2 outdoor and the indoors that are available that would go into the one I've already got here. And, or I could start contributing to the Lacrimosa. And now here's the thing, folks. I've got a problem. Let's not forget, I've got a huge problem. Before the year is up, I want to tell another travel story. I have no more travel memories. I need to get travel memories. And I think I just spotted a way to do it. Yes. I'm going to contribute to the Lacrimosa. This is my main action I'm going to do. And you'll see why in a second. And now I've got to pick one of these other cards to bury, which means either I don't get to tell a travel story, I don't get to journal, or I don't get to get another opus. So I've got to bury one of these. And whichever one I bury, I'm setting myself up for year 2, that I'll have more travel memories, more travel and composition memories, or more Mozart the Man memories. What the heck? Let's just go on ahead and bury this one. So this one, there went one of my opportunities to get an opus this turn, because I just put it down here. But now when we go into the second year, I'm going to have 2 more black Mozart memories, which could let me get more opuses in the second year. So I've chosen my cards, the top one, the bottom one. This will trigger at the end of the year. This is going to trigger right now, which means it's time to start composing. So let's come on back down here and let's take a look at what's going on. Now, as part of setup, 2 students, I guess, or contemporaries of Mozart were chosen randomly from a set of 4, and all of their works are placed out here. Now, this is interesting. So far, everything we've done has happened in the past, or we have been telling stories to the widow of our interactions with Mozart, our travels with him on the road, that time that we got him to compose a new thing, whatever it was. This action is something that happens in the present. Right now, I am paying Freistander or Abler a certain amount of money to contribute to the first, second, third, fourth, or fifth movement of the final work of Mozart. And depending on which movement I use, and depending on which composer I pay, I can get different rewards. And I just noticed this one will give me 2 travel memories. So that is why I figured, hey, why don't I just come on and hire Abler right now to make a contribution to the first movement of the Lacrimosa, and that will get me 2 more movement memories. Sounds good, right? So let's do it to it. Right. Oh, yes. The cost is not much. Freistatter apparently is a bit tougher. I'd have to pay a coin and composition memory. And that would give me two memories I want, or two stories I want. I'm not going to pay a coin. I'm going to Abler, which means I am just spending one of my story memories about composition to hire him. So I'm taking this. This is going to get me two more memories about travel. But here's the interesting thing. If you look closely, you'll notice it's not a little cube memories I get. Instead, I get strong memories, long-term memories. I'm not quite sure what you'd call them. The rules just say, hey, get them in cube form. These are all temporary. If I don't use some of these memories by the end of the game, or by the end of the year, I lose them and they reset. These are permanent. These last for the rest of the game. So Jen, I like to think of these as weak memories and these as strong memories, or bad stories and good stories, or whatever. So I just got two good stories by hanging out with Abler and remembering the man and all that. But I now also get to claim one of these three spots on the first movement, right? And if I look at my board, I have a few different options there as well. You can see all of these different tokens. These are going to represent the work that has been done, literally filling up one of these three spaces on the movement. And I'm going to get a bonus out of them as well. But right now, I can only do brass instruments or percussion. So I could not use this token for the organ, this one for the choir, these for the string. So it's got to be one of these three, because I have hired Ayler to do one of these three things. And they're all going to give me different bonuses. I think I'm going to do this one. This string one gives me 2 more coins. I spent some money, I'm going to get some money back. Boom, boom. And I take Ayler's token here, which reminds me, also gave me these stories, and I put it face down over here to indicate that that work is done. And coming back over here to the board, Ayler is represented by this double note. I think, is this an 8th note and this is a 16th note? One or the other, I forget. He's represented by this. So I will put this here. This is a reminder that I paid Ayler, who is the double note, to contribute to the brass section of the first movement of the Lacrimosa. And that has the potential at the end of the game. This is worth either 3 points or 1 point. And what that comes down to is who ultimately contributes more to the movement. Not in terms of players, but in terms of the composers. If Jen later on, say, did this and this, then what happens is if Jen contributed the other brass and the percussion, but had both of them done by Freistander, then Freistander contributed the most to this, and Freistander's contributions are worth 3 points, and Abler's are only worth 1. So this is a really interesting area control, not like anything else. There's area control going on, but we don't control these. We invest in the things that are vying for area control on 5 different movements. It's like there's 5 different countries we're fighting over via proxies of these two, if you were to think of them as armies, and whichever army does more, they're the ones that score the bigger points. And did I back the bigger army or the stronger army? Right now, I backed the army or the composer that gave me what I needed and didn't cost me as much either. So that was my turn. I contributed to the Lacrimosa, and I'm going into the second year. I'm going to have more stories, more black memories, which is going to let me get more magnum opuses, which I'm going to focus on in the second year. Yowza, that was a lot. And now at the end of my turn, I draw 2 more cards, and I get this and this. And now through process elimination, I know this card, the card that lets me perform or sell opuses, that one I cannot use. Every year there's going to be 1 card you can't get. So this card I know I'm going to have in the second year, but I will not be able to do anything with opuses this first year in terms of, if I've got them, putting them on to earn some money or selling them to get some permanent income. So that has been left aside. Next round I'll pick another thing. But now it is Jen's turn. And Jen is still kind of hoping that she could take advantage of this Salzburg. But again, cards have come out, and we still have not seen a religious work. So, but here's an interesting thing. What has Jen got? Jen has both of her cards. Oh, that's right. There are 2 of these. So I do still have 1 more, right? Oh, no, I don't have. The other one I buried. I buried. So one of these didn't come out. The other one I already buried. So I cannot put on performances. Or more to the point, I can't tell stories of performances I put on long ago. Jen could put on 2 performances, or she could put on a performance and then sell a performance. And we each start with one. Jen's next 2 turns could be just to do this final performance in honor of the man. But again, thematically, we're not actually doing this. These actions are telling stories of things we've done in the past. Although, I guess strictly speaking, this could be a thing in the present. Folks, the idea of what's happening in the past and the present is very loosey-goosey in this game. The theme is kind of hard to get your head around. I'm trying, but it might be better. Maybe I'll talk about that in the final thoughts. This is not me traveling, though. This is me telling about Mozart's travels. This is me telling about how I commissioned a work long ago, but maybe it's modern. I'm not quite sure. The rules are a little vague. But again, we'll talk about that in the final thoughts. Anyway, though, Jen's got to pick something to do. And what is she going to do? Folks, at this point, I'll be honest, I'm not quite sure. But tell you what, if you want to hit that eye up in the top right corner screen, you can go to the extended gameplay where I will keep on playing. We will finish this year, see how everything works out, play a bit of the second year as well, do some more various and sundry actions, or you can go straight to final thoughts. Your choice in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Phew. Okay, let's put a marker there, and let's get a drink of water. Oh, man. This is interesting. Oh, I'm getting kind of confused. I'm literally pausing right now, or doing this interim, because one of the biggest struggles I had with this game is what I was just talking about, the nature of what's happening in the present, what's happening in the past. We're making money then that we use now, or vice versa, or what have you. Now I'm starting to think, but the rules are very clear that these are memories, except for this, which is happening in the modern. I'm just not going to worry about it. I'm not going to worry about it. But anyway, so we got to finish out this year. Got to figure out, Jen's got 3 more actions. I've got 2 more actions. And I'm trying to remember, I don't think there's any way that we can just dig in this deck. I'm pretty sure there wasn't. We just have to. So this strategy I've given Jen of trying to get it just might not come into play. Because I do not recall there ever being anything in here about one of the whole. Well, hey, if you spend a resource, you can wipe and draw new ones. I'm pretty sure that doesn't happen. So that's okay. But Jen will continue pursuing that agenda anyway because it's what I've set up for her. So, right. Yeah, that makes sense. Plus, the other thing is, haven't finished drawing Jen's card. We don't know if she's going to get her second travel card or not. Her second travel card might be buried at the bottom of the deck. So that's something to consider as well. But things are going okay. Is everything going okay out there, folks? Wow, you're still here. Even with all of the skibbledy-scat just silliness that's going on. Let's see. Oh, Goblin. So in the solo, there's only 2 movements, not 5. No. In the solo, here's the weird thing. All 5 movements are here, but there is only 1 composer contracted. The other composer is left in the box. So the area control between composers is completely thrown away from the game. It just doesn't exist. And I don't understand. That is such a huge oversight. When I was totally planning on doing this as a solo because the solo deck for the AI is really simple. It's like, hey, I'm going to do the action, and the thing underneath, it says, well, am I going to take the leftmost or the rightmost or the topmost or the bottom? It's pretty straightforward. It's nice and simple and clean, and it would have been easy to demo, would have made my life a lot easier, because then I only have to strategize for 1 player. But with literally, the Lacrimosa area control game goes away completely. I couldn't do it, so I'm having to do a 2-player run-through. It's weird. I don't understand. I'll talk about that in the final thoughts, too. It's fine. I'm sure it works. But, I will only film a solo run-through if it demonstrates the feel of the multiplayer game. And taking out half of the thing that the game is named after is changing the feel of the game. So I couldn't do it. But that reminds me, before this run-through is over, I have to get Jen to come down here as well. And I have to get her really to do an alternate on this. I have to get her to come over here and make a choice. Do an alternate or try to double down so she either eliminates my 3-point advantage or tries to get a 6 points advantage to her and a 1-point advantage to me. I have to demonstrate that. So that's something that I'll have to work things towards as I continue to play. Just so I can talk about it. Not that I'll actually finish the game and resolve it, because these things don't resolve until the end of the game. But again, folks, more behind the scenes stuff. And yeah, Goblin, I agree. It's just a really, really weird choice that they made. the AI can still put tokens down here, but there's only one composer. So, and I forget, there's something that for deciding. I think it's if you just it becomes much simpler. It becomes, hey, if I've got more than the AI, then I get the big points. Otherwise, I get the small points. It's something like that, and that's just like it's not a proxy war anymore, and that's a really interesting, unique thing about this game. So, right. Weird. Okay, so it was Jen's turn. Jen can either buy or sell. I kind of like this idea of back-to-back, using this, using the one thing she already has. But no, actually, I should go out and get one. Right. Yeah. Well, I say, if I were to get one for her, which one would I get? And then I'd perform it. So that one requires, that's the good one that is actually cheaper. So that requires 2, but you get one back and requires 2 coins and gives her 3 points. And then she gets points. I think she'd rather take one that has better income. Do any of these have better income? Nope. Oh, because we're at the beginning of the game. So they're all, these get stronger as the game goes on, those cards up there. You can't even see what I'm talking about, of course, can you? So now I'm trying to think before I start going, which one is Jen going to buy? Boy, it would have been nice if the thing could have shown up, but it didn't. And, sometimes the run-throughs don't go the way I want them to go, and that's okay. Let's see here. I think Jen... Right, okay, does she need that? Does she need one, and then she would need one more. Yeah, okay. Well, okay, I know what Jen's going to do. All right, cool. Back. Boop. Hey everybody, welcome back to the Lacrimosa run-through. Now, we're jumping into the middle of gameplay here, and if you want to know how we got here, you might want to hit that eye in the top right corner screen or follow the show notes to check out the opening moves where I explain a lot of what's going on. But if you are ready to continue, well folks, then let's head back to Vienna. Here we are at the cafe. Jen is about to take her second turn. And what I'm thinking is, Jen's still hoping that a religious work might come out so she could go to Salzburg and get a bigger sale than normal. That would be awesome. So she's going to try and push for that. She is going to... Now, there in our deck of 9 cards, there is only one card that lets you do the action of upgrading your deck. So Jen can't do that again. But she could play this. And that is going to let her get commission another work. We each had one at the beginning. She is going to commission a second one. She'd like it to be a religious work, but no one's available. Now... Of these 3 remaining cards, there's another commission work. She's hoping that other one will come out and that maybe then she'll be able to commission the religious work. But if not, everything you're doing is good. So she's not complaining about that, but she has a choice she has to make. One of these cards has to go into the gathering more memories for the next round, for the next year, for the next period. And Jen still maybe wants to do a travel story. So she'll do one of these 2. So this is one less chance she has this year to actually... either perform a work and make some money or sell a work and make some permanent income. And so she might regret that later. She could have done those 2 back to back. First, she'd perform this work, make 2 coins, and then she could sell it and increase her income for the rest of the game. And that would have been pretty cool. But instead, Jen is going to do this. She'll score this later for the second year. And so, coming back up to the top of the board, which one of these does Jen want? Does she... And remember, the ones to the right are cheaper. And I should say, this stack of cards kind of blocks this. So you can see, if somebody were getting this upgrade is the most expensive one. It would cost 1 music memory, 1 Mozart memory, 2 more memories of your choice, and a coin to get that. They get cheaper as they go down. But that's okay. Jen's not doing that. Jen is commissioning that work, or that work. This one costs 3 Mozart memories and a coin. This one costs 1 Mozart memory and 2 coins. And Jen has 2 Mozart memories. This one costs 2 Mozart memories, 2 coins, but it gives her 1 memory back. I think that's the one that makes the most sense. So that she would have the potential to be able... Although here's the other problem. Even if if a religious work comes out, it'll be way over here. It'll be too expensive for Jen to get because she'll need at least 2 memories. So actually, thinking about this a little bit more, I don't think Jen's plan is going to work, but still, hey... investing in Mozart? That is never a bad idea. The man knew what he was doing. He could write a tune or 2. So Jen is going to go for the cheapest. In the same way she went for the cheapest upgrade that was available, she's going to go for the cheapest opus. And this one says, hey, spend, let's get her board on screen. Spend the 2 stories you've got about Mozart and 2 coins. All right, and she gets 3 and change from that 5. And grab this, but because it's all over here, get 1 memory back. So it really only cost 1 in the end. And this says, because she spent this, Jen is the first on the board. She just scored 3 big, juicy victory points for commissioning that opus. And now Jen has 2 opuses. She could actually, and remember I was talking about she could use this card to put on a performance or sell. If she puts on a performance for this one, instead of making 2 coins like my starter, she makes 4 coins. Or if she sells this opus that she just bought, she gets 2 points and 1 permanent increase to her income. So she might perform, well actually, but the problem is she can't perform and sell it because she buried one of these cards. But she could still sell this, which I think is probably what she's going to do, but we'll see as things go on. Anyway, all these slide over, so the remaining ones get cheaper. And a new one comes out. And whoa! What are the chances, folks? That is a religious opus. To get this requires, right now, 1, 2, 3 memories of Mozart or stories and 1 coin. I've got 2. Jen's got 1. Wow. Because getting that and then traveling to Salzburg means as a free action for spending 1 movement memory, we could sell that, get everything we're supposed to get for selling it, plus permanently for the rest of the game, 2 extra income. Wow. Okay, well, Jen's plan did work. But will she be able? Maybe there's a chance. We'll see. At the end of her turn, she draws 2 more cards. All right, so she got her other travel card, and she got another, right, so she cannot contribute to the Lacrimosa this turn because her other one, remember, she upgraded one of them, so she'll be able to do a really big job on the Lacrimosa next turn, but she cannot contribute again this turn because that was the card that she did not draw. All right, so we are on to my 3rd turn, and all of a sudden, I still want to tell another travel story, but I want to get that. Because then this is where I want to travel. Jen's plan just became my plan. But I need 3. I've got the money, but all right, and can I come? Yeah, so I could use this to get the thing, and then I could use this to travel and get a bonus sell. But I need 1 more memory of the man. I've got all this extra travel memory, but I need 1 more. So what is a quick way to get it? Well, I could contribute to the Lacrimosa again. How about we do that? How about we that's what we're here to do, right? Finish Mozart's unfinished work. So how about I do this again? Specifically because it will get me memories. Although, here's the problem. That'll be my 3rd action. My 4th action, I'll be able to get it, but I'll have to wait until... But then if I get it, I'll be out of time and I won't be able to travel and I won't get those $2. Oh, 2 coins is a big deal. But on the other hand, getting a free income increaser like that is too good to pass up. And here's the other problem, folks. I have this turn and 1 more turn. So if I spend this turn to get the stories I need to be able to get that card, and then next turn I get it, because I can see Jen can't get it, so I can get this. At the end of the year, these 4 cards that weren't taken, they're gone. The rest slide down, become much cheaper, and then the year 2 cards start coming out. And who knows if any religious opuses will come out there. I feel like if I want to grab that, I better grab it now. I might regret this later, but I am going to do it. I'm going to contribute to the Lacrimosa again. And again, I can contribute to the 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, or 5th. And here's the deal. If I want to make sure this guy was a 3-pointer instead of a 1-pointer, I should come over here and have him contribute to this again, which would give me 2 more strong memories about travel, or stories about travel. That's not what I need, though. I need to have the other guy work it so that I can get 2 of whatever I want, because I need 1 of these to get the card I want to get. So I'd be working against my own interest to work with the other composer. Although here's the deal. It could still work out either way, because this composer in a 2-player game, he's only going to contribute once to this. So actually, it works out okay. It does work out okay. Yeah, because, different composers have different or different tiles, depending on which one showed up. There's different numbers of them, all kinds of stuff like that. Yeah, I think I'm going to work against my own best interest. Now, okay, there's another way I could go, though. Because remember, I could go to the second, third, or fourth, or fifth, but these other ones get progressively more expensive. If I wanted to contribute to Abler on the fifth movement, well, he would give me a special power for the rest of the game. Every time I travel, I get a bonus turn where I get to do a bonus travel. That would be amazing. But to do that would cost me 2 memories, 3 coins, and I'd have to permanently lower my income by 1. But you know what? I'm planning on increasing my income by 2 over there. Wow. And otherwise, no, I can't afford it anyway. I only have 1 composition memory story. I need 2. So I could go for this one. This one just gives me points. This one gives me a thing that says, hey, for the rest of the game, whenever I interact, either buy, sell, or put on concerts that are outdoor, I get a point. So that would give me a special power for the rest of the game if I did that one. This one says, hey, at the end of every year during step 3 of the part of cleanup, get an extra travel memory for the rest of the game. And this one, get a single travel. So, I kind of want that now. I want to become a super traveler. But I can't quite afford it because I've only got 1 memory. So that means I can afford these, or these, or these. Let's, oh, yeah, baby. Change of plans. Okay, I'm still composing. Oh, by the way, I forgot. I haven't put something down here. I have to put something down there. This is kind of weird. I'm going to give up my chance to upgrade any of my cards. This is the only card that you have 1 of. I will not be able to upgrade any of my cards the first year like Jen did, although I will earn more memories that I can carry into the next game, into the next round. So that's good. So I still have the option of traveling or composing. I'll see how things evolve. But in the meantime, we're now going to do this. I'm going to contribute to the second movement of the Lacrimosa, and I am going to, this time, I'm going to hire Freistatler, the other one. And there's a reminder that the first time you hire him for the second movement, you need 1 memory and 2 coins. That's no problem. I had 1 last memory or story. I got plenty of coins, easy peasy. And so I've done this. And now I can either have him compose the brass, the percussion, the strings, or the organ. So that gives me more different bonuses that I have available to me. And here's the thing. I think I'm going to have him contribute to the strings. And so I put this down here, face down. I put this over here, that he has now contributed to the strings, and now he, Freistatler, is potentially worth 4 points to me if he is the primary composer of the second movement. And so Jen probably has an interest to hire Abler over here so that she could get 4 points out of Abler's work rather than me getting points out of Freistatler. And it's going to be harder because he only has 2, whereas Abler has 4. So that is going to be a tricky thing. There are some ways around. In fact, there is a way I could help with that. But I don't think I'm going to do it. Because I'm going to do this. So I put this here. That's great. And this composition, because this was the composition I paid for, at the end of every year for the rest of the game, I am going to get 1 week story, a cube instead of a disc, of any color I want. This is going to help me for the rest of the game. That's 5 memories for free that I'm going to get over the rest of the game. So that's very, very nice. But there was one more thing that I got over here. If we come back over here and look at my board, the space I covered up said, hey, why not get 1 of those? Exactly what I needed to get that opus that I have targeted for myself. So that was it. I have contributed to the Lacrimosa twice. We will get this thing completed. Widow Constance, Widow Mozart, don't worry. Okay, so that was my 3rd turn. It is now Jen's 3rd turn. And Jen can see exactly what I'm going for. And Jen made it happen. Jen, because she knows my next turn could be to go on ahead and grab it. And I've still got one more thing. Of course, now, she doesn't know what cards I have. And by the way, at the end of my turn, it's now that I draw the 3rd card. So for the last turn, I've got 3 cards to choose from. Whichever one I don't play, I will carry over into the second year. But in the meantime, Jen says, hey, what are we going to do here? Okay. I think Jen is going to, we talked about this before. Jen is going to either perform or sell 1 of her opuses, and then she's going to bury 1 of these cards. She'll bury 1 of these travels, because now she can't do 2 travels anyway, so she'll bury that one, and that will give her more travel stories to tell in the second period. All right, there we go. The second period of Mozart's life. I've been calling them years, but it just occurred to me, no. Right now, we're just doing our memories of the early period of Mozart's career, which is why all these cards are weak. They get stronger as the game goes on because Mozart gets better when it's in his second, third, fourth, and fifth period of the year. So, folks, I apologize for referring to these as years. They're called periods because they are the life periods of Mozart's life. Anyway, so Jen has chosen her 2 cards. She could either perform one of these 2 opuses or sell them. She is going to sell this one. If she performs, she'd just tap it. It would untap at the end of the period, and she'd get to use it again in the future. But she's going to sell this right now. That requires her last story point of Mozart, and that is going to permanently increase her income for the rest of the game and give her 2 more points. So she's happy about that. She's still got her starter one. And so she's going to start making money hands over fist. And she's pretty happy about that. And then she draws her final card. And now it's the last turn of the first period. Although, again, it's not a period of time. I mean, this is all one afternoon that we're just telling stories in a Viennese cafe. I'll talk about this in the final thoughts. Now, I'm still struggling to understand what the theme of this game is. But anyway, it's starting to come clearer to me now on this, my third play of the game. So, my last turn. So now I either do another travel story so that I can get the $2. But I would want to travel over here and sell the thing, but I don't have the thing yet. So I'm going to forgo the travel story. I am going to, commission a work. And again, you can thematically, I guess you could say, I'm commissioning an early work in the early period. I'm telling her a story about how in the first years of his career, I commissioned this work. And it cost me a lot. It cost me 1 coin, 1, 2, 3. Which is 1, 2, 3. But it gave me 3 points. And so now I've got the one I already had plus another one like Jen did. And so later on when I move over here, I'll be able to sell it without having to spend an entire turn. I'll move and sell it and basically get a free income upgrade that's bigger than the one Jen got. All right, anyway, a new thing comes out, and it is another indoor opus. All right, so there it goes, just like that. And that was, shoot, I forgot, folks. One of these 2 cards I had to put at the bottom. Let's go on ahead and say it was this one so that I can get more travel stories for going into the second period. Let's say that's what it was. Okay, so Jen's final turn of the first period. And what have we got going on here? Right, this is Jen's last chance to actually make a couple extra bucks by telling a travel story. Or she could start contributing to the Lacrimosa as well. Or she could get another opus. There are more opuses available. And you saw how just boom, she bought one, but then she sold it. And really what she was doing was telling stories about how she bought one in the early days and then flipped it and sold it immediately. Because everything we're doing is telling stories of what happened long ago. But I think Jen will tell a travel story just so she can take advantage of that a little bit. All right, and so which of these does she bury? Let's see. The other one is going to be in her hand, guaranteed. Because remember, for every period of the game, of the 5 periods, there's always going to be 1 card you don't get to play. So I think she will do this one. Because she would like to ensure that she can start doing Lacrimosa stuff down here. So she's going to hold on to that. That's the 1 card she didn't play this year. And so now she says, hey, I'm going to tell a traveling story, but I'm not going to travel here back to Salzburg, which was the plan all along because I ended up snaking the thing that she had ultimately hoped to get. So where is Jen going to travel instead? And remember, if you got the money, you could travel from one side of Europe to the other. You don't have to just go, and remember, I already gave myself, I just realized the problem. I gave myself this thing that says, hey, I will get 4 points at the end of the game if I've got a card from the first period of his works and the second period. The card I got from his first period, I'm planning on selling. So that's a problem, but I'll worry about that in the second year because I think I still got it. So anyway, I'm just saying, if Jen wanted to, she could spend a lot of money and get over here to Paris and give herself this, which says, hey, at the end of the game, she can soar 7 bonus points if she has on hand this is if she has contributed to the Lacrimosa on the choir, on the organ, and on the percussions. So that could be pretty cool. How much would it cost her to get there, though? Because it's a long ways. It'd be one coin, one, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That would pretty much bankrupt her. Or 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So it's going to cost her 6 coins to go from Vienna to Paris if Jen wants to grab one of these so she has an in-game goal. This one is about, hey, get 8 points at the end of the game if you have contributed to 4 of the 5 movements, to the first, second, fourth, and fifth movement. So if somebody were to get this, they'll probably never try to contribute to the third movement because they've really got to make sure they contribute to all the other movements before the game is over to get those 8 points. So that would be another thing. But again, Jen would have to pay big to get all the way over there. Let's see. You know what? Let's see here. No. I don't think Jen's going to do that. I know what Jen's going to do. Jen's going to move. She is going to spend 2 coins to travel along this road and make it to Berlin. And while at Berlin, she will spend 2 of her travel stories, telling the story of that long trip from Vienna to Berlin. And so there go 1, 2 of her travel stories. So she's out of travel stories to snag this. And what does that get her? 7 coins. $7. So Jen is loaded now. She's got more money than when we started. And money is worth points at the end of the game, but money is needed for a lot of other stuff. And so that is gone out of the game. Jen just made a boatload of money. She is not going to worry about money for getting compositions or for paying the big bucks to the composers, etc., or spending that money to travel really far and grab whatever she wants really quick because Jen just made so much cash. All right. So that was it for her. That was her last action. And folks, we've done it. We finished the first of 5 periods, the early period of Mozart's life. Now we go into maintenance. Any stories that we did not tell, we lose. Now, as you can see, I did it perfectly. I have no more stories to tell. I used them all to peak efficiency. Jen has one story that she didn't tell. And so she loses it. It's gone. So Jen wasted one of her precious music stories for Mozart. But now we get income. All these cards we locked in. Jen has 2 black from that card and that card, 1 red from that card, and 3 white from that card. So Jen's got a completely different set of stories she can tell about the second period of Mozart's life. Meanwhile, what have I got? I've got 1, 2 black, 1 red, plus these others that don't get lost. I'm sorry, no, 2 red, actually, and 1 white. So there we go. So we both have different layouts. This means I'm going to be weaker in the Lacrimosa going into the second year. Jen could be very strong in the Lacrimosa because of that upgraded card she got. All right, so we get all of those. Right? Then we get our composer rewards, which is ARG. Let me mark that. I do not remember. All right, what is a composer reward? The finances, we get our income. The period bonus is that. The cleanup. What is the composer reward? The composer reward. These are the composers. Oh, the composer rewards, of course. Of course, they're those things. Yes, and I have, all right. Yeah, okay. Duh, it was right there. Doofus Maloofus. Okay. Oh, by the way, thank you, Goblin, for giving away a sub to Duchess. That is very kind of you, Duchess. Welcome. You now have a little avatar walking around down there. You can hug people. You can earn coins to customize yourself. All kinds of fun stuff. Anyway, thanks, Goblin. That's very, very cool. All right. Anyway, so coming back to it, what was in the middle of? Oh, right. I was reading the rest of the stuff. Yes. So, those composer awards, that's me. Because remember, I hired composers twice. Now, this one doesn't give me any rewards. It was a one-time thing. But this one said, hey, get any one memory of your choice. And it's one. It's not a strong story. It's a weak story. So I could get a little bit stronger with Lacrimosa. Or, with the white. Or I could get more red for more travel stories. Now, what I'd like to know is, what's the Duchess going to want to hear about in the second period? That I don't know. But I think I'm just going to take another so that I can focus more up on that board. So I've got 3, 2, and 1. We'll see how well that... No. I'm going to have 3, 3, and 3. 2, 2, and 2. So I'm basically back to where I started. So if Jen starts making a move down here, I've got the resources to counter her in the little area control battle that's going on, the Requiem, the different movements. So I took that. That was my income. Jen didn't compose anything, so she has no income. Then we get our finances. My finances are 2 coins. That's where it started. Jen upgraded her finances, so her finances are 2 coins and another memory of her choice. Interesting. I think Jen will take another travel so that she can travel further if she needs to. So, and the higher we go on this income, the bigger we start earning points. We get more and more stuff. So really focusing on your income, which is what Jen did, although we're both eyeing Salzburg as another way to increase our income. Anyway, and then finally we do some end of round cleanup, which means all of these, they're gone. Bye-bye to all of those. The remainder slide on over. The remainder of the period 1 cards are gone. We reveal that for the second period of Mozart's life, his widow wants to hear stories about how we either put on performances for him or sold the opuses. And every time we tell those kinds of stories, we make money. Alrighty, and then we have Era 2, Period 2 cards come out, which are going to be more powerful, as a general rule, than the Era 1s. And there's a memory upgrade. And wow! Okay, folks, I gambled and it paid off because no religious opuses came out. So I still have the chance to travel over here and sell this. But remember, because of my objective, I've got to grab this card, or this card. I must grab one of them because otherwise I wasted this if I'm going to sell that religious, which I'm totally going to do. So I've got some very big tokens, but there's a little bit more. Every city that we didn't visit upgrades. They become more attractive. These are all 2-sided tiles. So they're worth more points, they give you more resources, etc., etc. And then new ones come out for the places we did visit that are kind of the low-level ones. All right, so there were 2 travels, so those 2 got up, and all these other ones are upgraded. So Jen, now it's well worth traveling to all these other things because, as an example, instead of, what was that? I was in Munich. Instead of spending a memory or a story to get 3 of Mozart the Black, you can spend 1 to get 3 and money and a point. So that is definitely the better way to go. So those are all much more attractive now because those cities were not visited. Right, and we then hand on the first player marker to the next player, and that is Jen. So she takes her cards back out, including the new upgraded card, the new souped up super card, which is really good for Lacrimosa. And remember, Jen's ready to really rock the Lacrimosa like nobody's business. So we get all these cards back, we shuffle them up, and we draw 1, 2, 3 more for our starting hand. And so now Jen has the card she didn't use in the first round, and 2 travel, and another commission and opus to be written. Right. So that's what Jen's got. Me, I've got to grab all of my cards, none of which were upgraded. But I did other stuff. I'm not complaining about stuff I did. I mean, I actually worked on the Lacrimosa. That's literally the name of the game. And so that will pay off for the rest of the game. And I'm hoping that my investments will pay out big points instead of small points before it's all over. Okay. So there we go. And I shuffle these up and add them to 1, 2, 3, the 1 card I didn't play from the first period. And we go on to the second year. And Jen is first. And what is Jen going to do? Well, it might be time for her to travel because, hey, there's all these big, great things. She's got enough travel memories. So, yeah, how about she travels? And she knows this turn she is going to want to either perform or sell. So, if that's the case, is there any place she could travel that would let her... Actually, it would come down here would let her perform and sell, but I mean that one wouldn't count. She would have to actually play the card to perform and sell to get the bonus from the widow. Does Jen want to travel? Or, since we're all about performing and selling, I mean, Jen's got this. She could just perform and sell this thing and then just stay out of it. Yeah, I think so. But what is Jen going to? Is she going to take away her other travel opportunities this year? Her one of her 2 opportunities to commission a work, or one of her 2 opportunities to contribute to the Lacrimosa? She's not doing that. She's planning on going in big on that. I think she'll give up. She's only planning on traveling once this year, let's say. So she'll just put that right there. She's only going to travel once. And where is she going to travel? Knowing that she's got big, big money. I think Jen is going to spend 1, 2, 3, 4 and come down here and grab this upgraded Paris. So now Jen, basically, she has to spend 2 travel memories, and that gets her 1 strong travel memory, 1 coin, and another point. Instead of before, it would have just been, hey, yeah, just get 1 memory, but instead also get money and points, yay. And so now Jen has an objective for the end of the game as well. She'll get 7 points if she contributes to the organs, the choir, and the percussion. And there's still plenty of opportunities for all of those, so Jen's feeling pretty good about being able to get that done. And so that was her first turn. She draws 2 more cards. So she could, and this is her first chance to actually make the widow happy by telling stories, putting on concerts. And now it is my turn. And I have to, because of my objective, I have to commission a work. I've got to get another period 1 card because I do not want to miss out on my objective, because I'm definitely going to sell that one by traveling to Salzburg. That's part of my plan. So what am I going to bury? I don't think I need to compose another one. So I'm just going to say, hey, I'm only going to commission 1 work. Right. And so now I want this one or this one, because those are the last ones from the first period, which I need to hold on to. Let's just go for the cheap one. Let's go for this one that costs 1 but gives me 1 back. Also costs 1 coin. And gives me 2 points. 1, 2. And so now I have 3 commissioned works that I could tell stories about. Tell stories about how I put on performances of them and made money, or how I sold them, etc., etc. Or, sometimes you have objectives that makes you, Jen's, right. In this case, I've got an objective where I want to keep some of these for the end of the game to get extra points. So that was it for me. That was my first turn. I draw 2 cards. And now it is Jen's second turn. And is she going to perform an opus? By the way, let's not forget, everything slid over. Everything's always getting cheaper. And, once again, I've got the only religious one, so Jen cannot get back to Salzburg. But here's the deal. Jen making this big move over here, because she knows I want to get to Salzburg. Jen came over here to get an objective, and in doing it, she also made it very expensive for me to get back to Salzburg. If she just moved a little bit, it would have been, then that would have been cheaper for me to get where I need to go. But Jen moved far, so that I'm going to have to move far to clear that out before the end of the round. But what do I want to do? What does Jen want to do? She says, hey, how about we make the widow happy, and I will tell a story about how Jen will tell a story about how she sold one of the maestro's great works in his second period. Right, and what is she going to bury? She will bury one of these commission other works, since she's got 2 of them. All right. And this is the only one she's got on hand, so she's going to tell a story about how she sold it. She could just tap it and perform it and get 2 points, but nope, she would rather sell it, get no points because it's a starter one, but increase her income again. So now she's making 4 coins, 1 point, and 1 story at the end of every year. And so that's going to pay out 4 more times for the rest of the game, and that is gone. And that's going to be 2 more bucks for her at the end of the round, because it's what the widow really wanted to hear about. And then it's my turn, and I am finally going to make it happen, folks. I am going to travel. Let's see. And I'm going to say both of these because I want to do both of these. So that means that's going to be 1 less Lacrimosa action I do, but it's going to give me more white memory or musical memories later. And so I'm traveling. And do I have enough money? I need to get back to Salzburg. So how's that going to cost me? That's going to cost me 2, 3, 4. Yep. 2, 3, 4. Ouch. And I've made it to Salzburg. I'm going to sell 1 travel story about that time that I actually sold a religious opus, which I happen to have, And in addition to whatever else I get, I increase my income by 2. 1, 2, plus by selling this. Oh, here's the problem. Selling religious opuses gets you nothing. I read online, this actually is a thematically grounded thing because religious works, there was an issue with the church and whatnot. So by default, by selling it, you don't make any income. But now by selling it, I actually make income in addition to points. So there we go. Nice. So that was that. And I pulled it off. I increased my income for a thing that normally wouldn't let me increase my income by all. And I've still got 2 more opuses that I'm not going to sell. I'm just going to perform them twice. My last 2 turns are going to be perform and perform to make more money and even more money. So that I'll go into the third period really flush with cash because I'm really starting to get kind of broke. And in the meantime, I draw 2 more cards, and then it is Jen's turn, and she has no works. Oh, she should have drawn 2 more cards last time. She's got nothing to perform, but Jen loves upgrading cards. So Jen is going to upgrade a card. Do the journal action. And so which of these is she going to upgrade? Well, wait, see. This is the cheapest one. Oh, wow. Yeah, Jen likes that. You know what? I think Jen's going to abandon opuses. She's so bummed that she got squeezed out of the religious opus that she wanted, that I ended up taking. Jen is going to say, hey, you know what? This is the card she's putting here, but she is replacing it with this one. This one, the cheapest one, just costs her 1 memory. She'll do that. Right? Yeah, she'll do, or will she? Yeah, she'll 1 memory. And this is gone. It's a way to commission other work, and it's going to be replaced with this, which is another way you can upgrade your cards. And every time you upgrade your cards with this, make money and get more stories as well. So Jen has pivoted to going for a heavy card deck upgrade strategy by abandoning. Whereas me, right now, I'm all about Lacrimosa, and I'm all about those... whatchamacallums, those works that I commission. And then Jen draws her last card, and now it's my third turn, and I want to start performing these ones I've got. And let's see, what do I want to... Do I need to travel anymore? I don't think I'm going to travel anymore. So I'll be getting more travel stories for the third period. And so it's time to perform. It's either perform or sell. So I've got both of these. And let's just go on ahead. No, I can't sell this one because I need to hold on to this for the end of the game. But I could perform it to make $2. Or, I don't think so. I'm going to sell my starter one to get me 1 more increase on the income. Now I'm making $5, 2 points, and a memory every year by selling that. And that's going to be 2 more bucks for making her happy, for more stories about how I sold all of her husband's works and made a mint on it. Okay, and then I draw my last card, and then it's Jen's turn. And what is she going to do? Well, she can't perform or sell one, so that's no good. But she will go on ahead and do a Lacrimosa action, plus get a coin, plus get another memory. All right. And what will she... which of these will she do? She will go on ahead and do this. There we go. Thereby giving her another Mozart memory to go into the third period. Okay, and so this is the 1 card she didn't play. So, now... Here's the thing. She has got so many memories about the musical Mozart. And in fact, it's too much. Because with 1 action, she can... having this much would be great later in the game. But right now, I don't think I have done Jen any favors. And I will show you why. If we look at all the options that are on for our 2 composers... it's 1 memory, 1 memory, 1 memory, 1 memory, 2, 2, 1, 1, 2, 2. Now, later in the game, well, no, actually, the memories are always 2. So here's the thing. Jen came in with so many memories. She just got herself 1 more memory. You know what? Actually, hold on a second. Jen doesn't need 1 more memory. She is not going to play her souped up super card because she doesn't need the coin right now. She doesn't need that other memory that she literally can't use because the second period is almost over. So she will use her regular one instead. And that means guaranteed she's got her souped up one that she can use right out of the gate in the third round. So she then only has 3, which means she wants to pay through the nose for this one or this one or this one or this one, the really expensive ones. Now, these ones make her lose income for the rest of the game, but they double up her ability to travel or to commission works. These ones say, hey, every time you do stuff with this type of opus or this type of opus, makes extra coins. Jen says, I don't want any of those. Jen wants to invest in Abler. All right, so this is going to cost her 3 coins, which she's got, 2 stories, which she's more than enough got, and she literally loses one of her income. That is painful. But now Jen is going to become a super traveler for the rest of the game. And she's got to ask herself, what is she going to have Abler compose? Remember, she has a goal of composing organs and choir and percussion. And all 3 of those are available in the 5th. So she could do any of those she wants. If she goes for organs, it'll give her a point. If she goes for choir, it will give her that income back that she just lost. If she goes for percussions, it'll get her memory. She is going to definitely contribute to the choir. It's Abler doing it. Abler is represented by that. So, boom. And she puts this here. And now this is a reminder for the rest of the game. Whenever Jen travels, after she's done traveling, she can do a bonus travel immediately. So she can basically just run roughshod all over Europe, spending all that money she's got, because she's got a ton of money, and grabbing all kinds of bonuses, in-game scoring opportunities, all kinds of stuff. So I think that makes sense for her. So she's now made her first contribution, and this is worth 3 points if Abler does more work in the 5th movement than Freistatler does. So that's potentially even more points for her in addition to that. So Jen is going to be a literal mover and shaker for the rest of the game. And it's my last turn. And you know what? I feel like you should really upgrade a card. That is you don't need to. You could win this game never upgrading anything, but I should probably start trying to upgrade some cards. Do I want to replace this or this with a new card? Oh, whoops, by the way, card should have slid over. Right? And a new one came out. Nerf. Okay. Ooh. Okay. I think I will get rid. No, I'm gonna get rid of one of my opportunities to perform or sell. By which I mean I'm gonna put it under here, and then it goes away to be replaced by the card I buy. And the card I buy, I really like this one. It's expensive. It's the most expensive one. It's going to cost me the last of my money. There go 4 coins. It's going to cost me 2 stories. There go 1, 2, let's say. And I will put this here like this. And what does this do? Hey, I can still sell. I got rid of let's sell stuff for one that also still lets me sell plus upgrade. So this is a really great upgrade to that. And so that went in there. And that was my last turn. And so, just like that, folks, you can see the rounds the periods can go fairly quick. I had a lot to explain at the beginning, but there we go. We're all caught up. And so now, once again, we go through the final steps. And we both wasted a lot of stories. Look at this. I wasted 1 travel story and 2 Lacrimosa stories. Actually, I wasted 3 stories. Jen only wasted 2. I did better for her this turn. So she only wasted 2 of each. Then, what do we get? Because we set ourselves up, I've got 1, 2, 3 Mozart stories, 1 music story, and 1 travel story from my cards. Jen's got 1 travel story, 1, 2, 3 Mozart stories, and 1. Wow! We both have the exact same number of stories in the same composition to tell going in the second year. Right, okay, and we get our composers. I get another story of my choosing. I think I might want to start doing more Lacrimosa stuff going into the next round. Yeah, I think that's fine. And let's see. And Jen, she doesn't have any composer income. She just has a special power that her composer gives her passively for the rest of the game. So those are the composer actions. We get our money. I make $5 and 2 points. 1, 2, and 5. And another memory of my choosing. I don't think I'm going to travel much. I think I'm going to Lacrimosa it up some more. All right, because I think in the third year, the area control battle is really going to kick off. And Jen, she gets 3 coins and 1 memory. She doesn't get quite as much income as me, but that's okay because she still has plenty that she hasn't spent. And she wants to be travel. She wants as many travel memories as possible because she is a traveling super fiend. So she takes another travel memory from her income. and then we clean up. These 4 go away. New ones come out. The rest of the stuff for Era 2 is gone. In Period 3, the Widow wants to hear about upgrades. So now is a good time to be upgrading cards. The interesting thing is you can upgrade the cards you have already previously upgraded too, which is a funky thing. And you might want to do that to take advantage of the good graces of the Widow. Hey, finally, another religious work came out. Took a while. And there we go. So there's some new cards that are available. And the first player marker turns over. We pull our cards out. We get set up for the next round. And the game continues. And folks, I think I'm going to stop right there because that should give you a pretty good idea of the basics of Lacrimosa. Now, if you'd like to hear some final thoughts, you can hit that eye in the top right corner screen or follow the show notes in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Phew! Oh my goodness. How was that, folks? Did you actually stick it out this long? Oh my gosh, I thought for sure I lost you all. You are hardcore. And I feel so silly. I have a better understanding now of the theme, which is good. I'm not going to record final thoughts right now. I need to maybe rethink some of the thoughts I already had. But anyway, hopefully you have a pretty good idea of what the game is. The solo game, like I said, it works the same, except, hey, he does an action, and depending on the action, he says, oh, I want the rightmost thing, or the topmost thing, or the topmost thing, depending on what type of action he does. And otherwise, but most of the game is the same. But getting rid of this area control, which, I forgot to do. I was going to have Jen, and I had her do it. I should have had her talk about doing these over here, so that we could start working on the area control. But when Jen got to it, she had too much, so she had to pay for the expensive ones. Oh, well, you folks understand anyway, even if I didn't quite demonstrate it as well as I could. But there you go, folks. Hopefully that was an interesting behind-the-scenes look into what goes into filming a run-through. Hopefully you have a better idea of Lacrimosa. This game is great. Ever since I heard about the idea of, play 2 cards, one for the top, one for the bottom, I fell in love with that. And the way you can upgrade cards, you only ever have a deck of 9, that is all very good. My really only complaint was, so far, the 2 games I'd played with Jen, we were both just really scratching our head about what is the theme here? How does this work? Everything seems so discombobulated with things that are happening in the present that affect things that happened in the past. And what? Because money is a thing that you use right now to hire people, but you also use it when you're telling stories about the past, because supposedly we're telling stories of Mozart's travels. And yet here we are in the present paying money that we made in the present to tell her about how to pay him to move around so we can tell her. And it's just like, it's like, there's rips in the space-time continuum in the theme of this game. And so that really bugs me. And I just have to think about it some more. Because I like the gameplay here, and I was so in love with the theme, but the theme just feels, they do nothing to make it clear. I mean, you could tell, if you watch this run through, how I was kind of struggling. I was trying to figure it out as I go, because at no point, but as was pointed out at the beginning of this entire run through, maybe I need to read things a little bit more closely, seeing as how that's how we found out that this whole thing takes place in Vienna. But is this income happening in the past? I don't know. But, folks, thank you very much for coming along. Let's see, were there any more questions? Oh, I see, Goblin. Boom. If you don't get the Lacrimosa completed by the end of the game, is it a group fail? No, it's not. Presumably, the ones that we didn't do, there must have been others who stepped up and helped with that. There's no penalty. It's just, and in fact, I don't think it's possible. At least in our 2-player games, we didn't come close to it. I mean, what do we got? I mean, actually, hold on a second. So there would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. 20. And each of us has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So it is literally impossible. The most we could put down is 16, and there are 20 spaces that need to be filled. So there's no expectation of completing it, because there are in fact, actually, the rules talk about the solo person we play against is another real human being, a real contemporary of Mozart. And it's actually a beautiful story. I really loved it. Another reason I wanted to do solo is so I could talk about this story about how in real history, the widow fell on hard times, and this was a guy who invested in the magic flute, which is one of his biggest works ever. And so after Mozart died, this other guy, Schikaneder, was actually putting on concerts of the magic flute specifically to support the widow. And it's like, oh, that's lovely. Didn't have to do that. I mean, so... so it's kind of weird. I feel like I don't want to beat this solo guy because he's a real good guy, helping her out. But anyway, yeah, so it's a good question, but no, there's no expectation that we completely finish it. It's not possible. It's kind of interesting. That would have been a cool addition to the game. Especially because I didn't get a chance to talk about it, but the bonuses we get, there are bonuses for all of them. The bonus for doing this one, which I never did, is place another one. And the reason you do this, it doesn't score you anything, but it helps you push the one composer or the other to the top for the purposes of the proxy war area control thing that goes on. But yeah, I can't do it all. But folks, I am going to see if there's anybody to raid now. Let's take a looky-loo. Although it's always hard finding somebody on a Tuesday afternoon who's doing board game content. And I don't know why. Clearly, it tells me I shouldn't be doing board game content right now either. Is there any chance Ruella's out there? Nope. There I am. Let's see. Somebody playing Stratomatic Hockey. 4 adventure games. All right. Oh, that's a repeat. Not going to do that one. Kingdom Death Monster. Oh, wow. Somebody's playing Kingdom Death Monster. That's a pretty cool thing. Blood on the Clock Tower. That's obviously a very popular party game, so that could be pretty cool. Playing X-Wing, a digital version of X-Wing, Snowing in the Park. Oh, what is that? Oh, it's Loozapalooza. I haven't raided Loozapalooza forever. We're going to totally raid Loozapalooza, and it looks like, they're playing, I think they're playing, is that the Jurassic Park? I think they're playing the Jurassic Park Legacy of Isla Nublar. So that is totes who we are raiding. And folks, you will have to get your Rahdo raid icons ready to let them know how much we love them. Looks like he's playing solo from what I can see. Where is the raid button? Here we go. Alrighty. Palooza. Yeah. Go tell him hi, and life finds a way, right? And to also hold on to your butts and any other Jurassic Park quotes you can think of. And we'll be hitting that raid button in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go, 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 go. And let's see if that worked. All righty. Can't hear you.
You know the answer. Ooh, right.
It worked.
Through.
And he saw it.
That is so nice.
Fantastic. Okay. Then my work here is done. Thanks for watching, everybody. I got to think some more and then record my final thoughts. Talk to you later. So long again. Bye-bye.
Hi, everyone. I just won my 3rd episode of The Legacy of Isla Nublar. Is it a good game? I don't know. I'm having fun with it, so that's nice. Hi, Cortain. It's been a while. How are you doing? So this game is, it's not bad. I just finished, and I'm going to play a song that was...
Oh, shoot. I didn't end the stream. Arg. Hee hee.
Isn't the
Try again.
game implicitly good?